All right. I click play. I click play. Hopefully nothing's... There's nothing for you to see back there. And there's nothing on my desktop. Don't bother going back and looking. Of course, that's what he would say. Yeah. Thank you for watching the VOD. Yeah, thanks for watching the VOD. And thanks for hopping in here. Tsunami-san already here. Cool. But thank you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching the VOD. Thank you for clicking like. Subscribing. We gotta get that number up. I'm gonna partake of my bowl of coffee. Ahoy ahoy. Guten Abend. AJ76. Hello. Gunnar Wolf. Dark Wind. I'm doing good. How are you? Perez Dispenser. Why in the world is chat way up there? What did I click? What did I do? Trying to adjust some shit. Am I too orange? Tell me, do I look orange? So I've noticed that we figured this out the other day actually, was the auto white balance was causing the green screen to pop up a little. Maybe I should adjust that. Hey, what's up, Bill? Hope everything's going well for you guys, buddy. Red 6, guten Abend. Brobonic, what's going on? Okay, so I'm too orange, you said. How am I gonna fix this? Let's go back to camera. I mean, I can leave it on auto white balance, but then it's like, it screws up. It messes up. Looks like I have a spray tan. Well, that's pretty cool, actually. Watch, so if I hit this, that makes me green. That's not the effect that we're looking for. But if I go any lower, at some point the green screen will pop on. Right there. 3170 is the culprit. $3,200's also kind of ass. I don't know. What do we do, guys? Do I desaturate? Is it the camera or a fake tan? Be honest. We're gonna pretend it's the camera, okay? Smart guy. I don't want to say anything to auto because it's freaking makes the green screen appear. Bill said, thanks, sir. Process. Still in process. ETA is 43 minutes. Well, everybody send your good vibes and your prayers to Nicodemus. They got a little procedure going on his end. Keep them in your thoughts. I'm sure everything's going to be fine, though, buddy. Hey, Chat Solo, Evo Supreme, my dear friend Justin Beard. So I can't figure this out. Huh?
Camera angles fucked up.
Oh yeah, well there's that too. And Jasmine was showing off her, like, she 3D printed a phone holder thing, and she's like, look, and the phone just shot out of it and like hit my little janky ass camera setup. Everything just kind of went everywhere. She was like, look, it's a phone holder, and it just shot out. I was like, that's what happens when you do demos, babe. That's what happens. Hey, Todd. All right. Moose with Big Crack. Hello. What 3D printer does she use? We've got a bamboo. Which one is it? P1S. I forgot already. I'll be honest, I bought it. I was like, oh, babe, can we get this? And I thought she might enjoy it. And yeah, she's the one who uses it most times. She's 3D printing all sorts of random shit. I kind of want to describe the one that, the thing that she just made. Maybe in a minute. I've got to figure out. Okay, I wasn't going to say anything, but since Bill said it, I will read out what he said. He said, much appreciated, because they're, you know, to the people that are giving some prayers in chat, some good vibes and thoughts. He said, it's my wife. She's having a minor surgery today. If you guys don't see me during the stress test, just know I'm taking care of her. As you should. Hey, Dargith. Am I less orange now? What a weird transition. Juggling 3 conversations. Looking out for Bill. Trying to figure how make me less orange. And talking about Jasmine's 3D printing. Orange Sean, let's go. Wickaslaw says. Alright, well, I guess that settles that. Am I really that orange? On a scale of 1 to Trump, you're about Ivanka. Fuck. Thanks, Dargith. I'm glad you're here, buddy. Good, always good to see you. I'm always glad you're here. I'm always happy when you're here, Dargith. Faith Fellowship Fun, hello. IGT, what's going on? Sinris, Yuan, Chromium. Chinny said, if it makes you feel any better, I don't think you're orange. Reminder, I'm colorblind. Oompa Loompa Sean stream, let's go. Alright, we're done here. We're done with the stream for today. Just kidding. But we're done adjusting the color. I'll be orange then, I don't give a shit. Can we not subscribe to you? No, but you can subscribe to anybody else on the team that is streaming, and please do. Go give them your support. I don't have subs turned on because I'm an extremely wealthy man. I am literally made of money, orange money apparently. Sup, baby? What's going on? No, I live in Germany and it's just the whole tax thing. It's a theme this week even. It's a pain in the ass. We didn't want to mess with it, so. To be honest, I don't think you look any more or less orange than normal. So it seems fine. Thank you, buddy. Yo, Sean, what's... I'm glad it's Friday. I'm glad you guys are you enjoying your Friday? Are you enjoying your Friday? Not you new people. You guys don't know what you're in for yet. The rest of you Dargets, smartasses. Are you enjoying your Friday? I haven't even had my coffee yet. My 5th coffee of the day. Been eating a lot of carrots one funky. Oh. Dargith, you haven't been bad. I used your name because you're familiar. I knew you could take it. Gorebound, hello. Orange glow, don't come cheap. Let me see your soul glow. Tiny knee breaker, hello. Derelict, I think I said hi already. If not, then hello. K-Lorn TV, Redress, I think if I haven't said hi to you, then hello. Smarty. Justin Beard said, I woke up and forgot what day it was, so there's that. That's my Friday so far. Off to a good start then. You're good. You can make it any day you want. Except Saturday, because then that's the stress test. Hi Todd said, dude, beyond stoked it's Friday and looking forward to geeking out with the boys over the weekend. Nice. Got a Garfield look going. Thanks, John. Animus DQ. What are we working on today? Probably trying to wrap up the player housing in Shallow Shoals. Yeah, there's a stress test tomorrow. All right, no more orange strokes. How you been? Been a bit since been able to tune in. One funky note. I've been great, actually. Pretty damn good. All right, so just to kind of get you guys up to speed, and we can maybe look at Night Harbor after this, but to get things rolling, is this is the island with player housing in Shallow Shoals. I almost said Fortnite because IGT said Fortnite, and I have a tendency to just say whatever word I read last when I'm streaming. And don't try to use that to make me say bad stuff. You'll get booted. Mouse with big crack is not your name. I read, and I think I've already thanked you for the follow, Moose with big rack, which is very different than a mouse with big crack. But if you guys could meet each other somewhere, maybe a cartoon, it's Moose and Mouse. That would be an excellent cartoon. It would be the moose with a big rack, and then a little mouse would pop up with just this big ass. Just a thick mouse. But maybe he's like a plumber. Maybe he's like a plumber mouse, right? And they're going on kind of like blue collar adventures. Or it could be that the moose is highfalutin, kind of like he's never really worked a day in his life. He's just got this big rack. Or it could be a female moose with a big rack. I mean, I just assumed horns, but whatever. And then you've got a mouse with a big crack who tags along and like keeps the moose out of trouble because the moose doesn't know the way of the world. See, that is a whole thing. You can take that, you can run with it. I'm a professional. I'm a professional about making, like, yeah. So anyway, this is actually the shit that runs through my head constantly, depending on what noises are coming in my ears. My wife's got to deal with this regularly. It's all over the place. It's just like, so now you get a little bit of a day in her life. So one of the things that my wife 3D printed for her shooting club, her gun club, she goes to the range there, is because they've got a women's room, because some women go there and shoot. She found a 3D print model for it's a tampon holder, because women need these things, and she printed it out. She got the model paints. It's her first exposure to model paints, and she painted these guys that got put in there. They're not actual real metal. You got a cylinder for the woman goods. It's got magnets that she bought and put in there. That's pretty cool. And then on the other side, also, painted and stuff. That's incredible. See, babe? So, for the, for the women in your life with handgun fetishes, there you go. Tampons are good for emergency triage gunshot wounds too. Just saying. There you go.
Okay, let everybody know then.
You got to pack a wound somehow. You could use gauze, or just let the guys at the club know if they run out of gauze. Send someone to the ladies' room. Cool. Don't joke about Canadian moose. I would never joke about a Canadian moose. One of the Canadians in my guild when I was in the Dark Exile was that was his nickname, Moose, because he was Canadian. I'm trying to remember his player name. I think he's one of our paladins, actually. Justin Beard said, I've never seen a moose yet in my town, but I was told there was a sighting about 10 years ago. They're huge, so if there is one, you'll see it, probably. Take a look at the rack. Let me know. Crimson 360 said that's the toughest model tampon holder I've ever seen in my life. Right? Al Hoots, thank you for the follow. I Purge People, thank you for the follow as well. Name is on. It's clear. We watched all the Purge movies, Jasmine and I. They just progressively got worse and worse and worse, didn't they? Dankus Crankus said, "Wow, hello." I think he probably rolled in during the thingy, the display. Just need a spring-loaded Nerf launcher for it. Wouldn't that be something? Like you just like pop it out into your hand. Does she have an AMS for multicolor prints? She does, as she just found out when she started a pretty massive print and did not look to see whether or not she had enough filament. And she used up all of our black filament and then had to proceed to do the last chunk of it in gray. True story, just happened. It did say no spool change needed. But I don't think that meant what you thought it meant. It didn't. Oh. Dargith, I agree. Alright, cool. So I guess interesting topic to walk into. For those of you that are new here, it is a game development stream, and true to form, in game development, a lot of times there's just a lot of shit talk and not a lot of game development going on. As you can tell by the progress of some of your favorite games at some of your favorite companies. Please, if you're new here, I've been doing this disclaimer a bit more because some people get confused. This stream starts at 8 p.m. my time. I tend to wake up about 5:30 in the morning during the week. This morning I woke up at 6 a.m. because I had to hop on a call earlier. Great call, wonderful people. And so this is kind of how I round out my night. This is not my actual active work day. So when people are out there going, "Man, I watched a game development stream with Sean, and he didn't seem to get much of shit done." Yeah, that happens because I'm easily distracted. We get on much more important topics like tampon holders and the size of a moose's rack, and that's just what we do here to unwind and maybe answer a few questions about the game, try to share some good vibe and cheer. And yeah, maybe I should make an intro video kind of thing. Sanguine, hello. Chex, J Irish, Doggeroni, what's going on? Sir Nasty Pantheon, hello. Angriest Autist, I read your comments earlier, but I didn't say hi. Salty Soldier, same deal. Davion, what's going on? 1770-69. Has your name always been Davion 1770-69? That's cute. Oh, I purged people. I'm named from the ability. People in Battlegrounds and WoW didn't believe my name, and so they figured it out. Eventually I became the single most hated person in Battlegrounds at one point. Kudos on the accomplishment. I do appreciate that. Hey, Florane. And join a cult. I do stay off Reddit as much as possible, though every once in a while Reddit gets on me. Let's see. Just checking Slack real quick. Anytime the number goes up enough, I want to check and make sure things are good. Cool. That's nice. All right. Is a player housing going to be varying in sizes? Yeah, actually, Tiny Knee Breaker. You'll see it here. So here's the thing. We're not a team that like spends all of its time trying to design everything up front. You'll clip that, and later on in our history, it'll be thrown in my face or our faces. When shit's like, why did they do that? We're like, I don't know, we freestyled a bit. We're very much like, we're like early 90s freestyle rap. And so, especially the Biggie video. And so what's happened is we kind of developed these systems. We have a rough idea and stuff, and it's led to some pretty organic, interesting results. You'll see it more so in in places like, oh, look at that door. Like that door that just, there's a weird phenomenon where the doors, sometimes they fit and then sometimes they feel just slightly off. So at some point we're going to wind up probably adjusting or fixing some doors. I do blame Chinny. I think Chinny made every door in here slightly different. Window shutters may be a thing later. Window treatments may be a thing later. We don't have it set up yet. For now, people will just be able to look in and see your cool stuff, I guess. Thank you for getting me back on topic. Guild halls, you'll see it in the, when we go to Night Harbor, we'll take a look. You also blame your team. It's really good. It's a good move. It's a power move. Just blame it on the team. That is the key to leadership. Yeah, so this is Shallow Shoals. We've got a limited number of structures here, but they're all a little different. Are mostly a little different. My favorite structure in the whole game, I'll show you in 1 second. But then when we get into Night Harbor, there's also just, there's like on the west side, especially where Harrison was building them, Pattis. There's so many different unique structures, and it's cool on the alpha server to see how many people have like rented them out already and given them cute names. And as more functionality goes in with regards to, both like placing furniture, we've defined some volumes as indoors and outdoors so that you'll be able to place like outdoor furniture or items and indoor stuff. And then we've talked about different sign types, different door types, probably window treatments. Yeah, I could see that. Like, I could see, yeah, it's like being able to place a bookshelf over it, or yeah. So it'll just be a system that we iterate on as we go. But basically, what I'm doing, if you haven't seen this process before, as I come in. We've got 3 tables in the database that essentially define the house. And then, let's find this guy. And then it links the door, right? So we have a house ID, we have a door ID, we have a house sign, right? And then we have a volume. And a house can have 1 or more volumes. This is a pretty simple house. Let me turn this on so you can see the volume. So it's just a big box. Pretty simple. Whereas when we get to a really cool one, I'll show you in a minute. Potted plants outside the door. Yeah. So that would be, and that may be a thing where we've got to figure some stuff. There's some stuff with volumes now where if you, you should be able to use this whole area. You're right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fix that right now. All right. So you guys stop saying cool stuff for a moment because I'm not going to read it. My brain can't process all of that. Let's go to the house volume table that I've got open. It's right down here. We're going to do a volume. Let me minimize this window so I can see you guys. Duplicate. Hey, Viro. Duplicate row with keys, and that's going to be volume. Oh, I forgot to add these anyways, so 44 for house 1010. Let me catch up on my work here. 1010. Volume 1045. For house 1010, yes. Oops. 45, thank you. Not 105, 104. Cool, so it covers these guys over here. You can't see them because they're behind me on the screen. All right, so now let's do house volume 146, 1046. And that's going to go back to house number 1000. And will there be certain proximity that will be placed items around or inside the house? Certain proximity that will be for placed items. Oh, like how close can you place individual items? That'll be something that we tune as we go. That's all stuff that Ollie's got like preliminary kind of implementation on, but I know for sure that we're going to have to tweak and play around with it. And it could be, I think, maybe per item or whatever. Maybe it's based on a... Chinny asked, I'm curious how you're handling the buildings with only roof ladder access. In here, I didn't see any with only roof ladder access. Have you made any stance on limitation on how many houses you can own? I believe we talked about it and decided we wanted to start with 1 per account per server. So, Chinny, one of the things that we're looking at with the houses in Night Harbor, and it's maybe something that we could come back and do, Bjorn said it would be fairly easy, is like to punch some holes in some of these and give them a ladder so that we can also use some of the roof space. Because especially in the like old school Middle Eastern houses and stuff, like if you ever watch The Chosen, you'll see they use the roofs a ton, like to go up to sleep and stuff like that. Skulky, yeah, it was 1 house per account per server, I think is where we started. What about mounted trophies from the heads of your neighbors or enemies? Yes. I don't, if they couldn't place anything in the last test, then it may not be activated yet. It's something I've got to run back through all of this stuff with Ollie sometime soon. Anyway, let's quickly add this volume so I can move on. I'm going to ignore you again for a second. We're going to put a volume right here. So people can come up here. And you know what? I'm going to put a second volume right over here, but I'm not going to put a volume in front of the door, if that makes sense. We found what we think is a housing item last test, and someone said they couldn't place it. Okay, I read that part. Thanks for the answer. Appreciate it. Pass it along. You're welcome. I'm not 100% sure. If Ollie pops in here, then we'll get you a more definitive answer. But I don't. If you didn't see it, then it makes sense that it wasn't set up yet. All right, so we'll do this volume, and this is house ID 1000. Great, and then it's volume 10046, and now they're bound together in data. And what we can also do then is duplicate this again. Well, we're going to update this so that it's let me check something really fast. So, did I wind up not duping and just moving this volume? If so, not a big deal. Can I Control Z? Yeah, I think I did that. So we'll leave that as is. We need that volume. Now we'll dupe. There we go. Then this volume will be 1046. Right? Yep. And then leave that there. And then here, 1046. Cool. And now we'll pull this out. And here. Yeah, and that's the thing. Every entry for a house is a unique entry, so we can price every house slightly differently if we want. Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading. Just realization with house volumes, PvP servers might be a little crazy with all teleporting around and whatnot. Entertaining at least. What it winds up being is you just get teleported to the safe spot, which I believe is like right here, and that's why we're going to add a third volume just because why not? And then at some point later, we may come and add roof volumes to some of these, but like the more elaborate houses in Night Harbor, I started adding roof volumes and courtyard volumes and stuff too as I was doing them. So we've got this one, it's 1046, it's in, everything's covered, everything's updated. We're going to dupe it again. We're going to make this guy 1047. I'm glad some of these numbers are really starting to get out of sync because I started everything with 1000 here in Shallow Shoals. And honestly, it wound up becoming more of a pain in the ass because once it got off by like 1, because we have like 2 volumes in one house, then like trying to keep them all aligned and stuff was like too close and it made it a pain. But now with them being a little more disparate, it's a lot easier to keep up with. So we'll go here, then we'll pull this guy over here. This is a fancy one. Now right below it is in here are some stalls that you can rent. Now if we wanted to make this house really fancy, and it's a subsystem that we need to eventually put in, the ability to have the we're going to come in here as a last task and put in like some stalls that you can rent, spaces, so you can just rent the spaces. And then later, if we wanted to be really fancy, we can make it where they are linked to this house, and then you have permission to activate, like basically rent the stalls out. But that's kind of down the road. That's something we'll tackle later. So there, there's just ideas that we've got for how to mess around with this. The thing that we're trying to do is, because you'll see, not to throw shade or whatever, but you'll see some games and they'll be like, we've got all these big ideas, and it's just a ton of great ideas. But then sometimes maybe they don't start working on the ideas until they can do all of it or whatever, and then it piles up and it becomes kind of crazy. Whereas we're like, let's get the foundation in, start playing with it. You never know. There may be a live stream like this one or whatever where somebody asks a cool question and we're like, oh shit, didn't think of that. And then we just, we factor that in. But that's not to say that we don't have our share of, little design docs and things like that where we kind of project out what we want to do. But yeah, a lot of iteration with us. But it's allowed us to move fairly quickly. You'll see some places are a little unique. I think I'm gonna save this one actually, because it's just I think the realtor might live in here. Maybe put the realtor of the island on here, so you don't have to go somewhere else. But who knows? There's a really cool building here that would allow you to have your own like tavern or shop, but probably tavern. And then over time, we'd like to do some more support for making it like a legit tavern, where if you set up the tavern, then it gives the buffs and all of that stuff, right? Are there any taxation ideas on stall purchases as a mean to control server cash flow? Yeah, so that's the renting a stall actually is a direct payment to us. And renting a property is a direct payment to us. You don't own them outright. You're always just paying, just like in real life. Al Hoots, thank you for the follow 17 minutes ago if I didn't say that already. Never once saw or used player housing on EQ. Hope it's either different somehow or you actually engage with the housing mechanic. Tank Top, I don't know. The alpha server is basically packed at this point. Like there's a ton of like house utilization with cool names and all of that stuff, and people naming like such and such guild house and so, like, and then we want to incorporate things like workstations and other things, basically provide you with functionality that makes it worthwhile. Work through the commerce system, give you opportunity to kind of like improve how your shops work and all of that stuff. Tired Worm, thank you for the follow. Yeah, Fat Chunk, the grind is never over. Eminem, you'll own nothing, be happy. Exactly. No rent to own here. So anyways, tavern there. May or may not turn that into something. Got an odd shaped building here, but it's got a nice skylight. Nice window up there. I was probably gonna, there's another one. I don't know what's going on. I wonder if is it an after the fact thing that this happens, or... Interesting. Well, we're going to be working on doors. I'll just, spoiler alert, we're going to work on doors at some point in the future and fix some of this. It's a weird phenomenon. Poltergeists. Our houses have poltergeists. Yeah, I think adding more windows to houses over time would kind of be cool. Notice a lot of our houses. Well, this one's got 2 windows. That's pretty tight. Are the houses being baked in and it's a post-baked effect? No, I don't think that's it. Is it Zilkaril or Kilkaril? Zilkaril says, I think I've heard that Eminem doesn't want in-game comment content to be about massive raids. 72 people like an EQ. I've also heard you mention that some content may be out of reach to some players. How do you view difficulty and out of reach to some players if it's not gated by number of players? Is it how EQ also gated? Very long random spawn times? Yeah, so we're built on a foundation of long random spawn times. But I also think that if you look at you know, the way some dungeons will be done over time in terms of kind of the game knowledge and a little bit of skill that's required, the gearing up to get to the point where you're able to like sustain in that environment, plus the way that the content's set up, there'll be a bit of a natural, it becomes something where you know, again, similar to older games where there'll be a level 60 camp, or there'll be level 60 camps where it's not as sketchy, not as dangerous, and then there'll be level 60 camps that are much more dangerous, and you know, potentially there'll be a power disparity based on our understanding of your gear level at that point, etc. And don't get me wrong, it's not like we won't have multi-group content. It's the main thing that we've said is we don't want to create a scenario where the game feels like it starts in the raiding end game. We don't want a game that puts all of the interesting stuff, all the fun, and you know, all the sense of kind of high-end progression strictly in like you know, an ongoing kind of like ever-growing tier of raids. So Zil Corral. Okay, awesome. And thank you for the response. Can't wait. Right on. I'm glad I was able to satisfy the answer. Or satisfy the question. Anyways, real quick. This is the cool... I want this so bad. Because I want a tower in real life. I would love a tower in real life. If we have property at some point, it would be nice to build a tower. So this one is probably the coolest. And then look at those views. I think you'd thrive as a lighthouse keeper. Yeah, if I wasn't terrified of the ocean at this point in my life. Do I have the tower labeled? I don't. Let me label this. Yeah, so you can see here. Oh, hidden garden spot, yeah. Underwater housing would be neat. Yeah, this one's got a few more volumes. Oh, and guess what? For you Jimmy Buffett fans, some beach bungalows, yeah. You can just be at home fishing. We'll have to make sure that actually works so it's not false advertising. How's that, right? That seemed like it'd be fun, so I set it up. Yeah, we just went from crest 5 to crest 6. No, 4 to 5? Yeah, sorry. We went from crest 4 to crest 5. Is that true? Or did we go from 5 to 6? I'm the worst representative of the team. I don't know. I forget shit. I'm old, man. I got a mushy brain. I had too much fun in the 90s. Let me look. It's crest 5, right? Did we move to crest 5? Embarrassing. How dare you not know this? Search. Crest. Yeah, crest 5. Apologies if it's been previously discussed, but circling back, how does the team plan to make encounters feel grand and teams are bigger than just individual? Something to strive for as a guild without requiring a zerg of people. EQ2 accomplished this with 24-man max raids. WoW had 10 mans, etc. I mean, it's a fair question. You know, for as long as we are not instanced and not putting an artificial cap on, you know, like how you're able to engage or whatever, then zerging's a possibility. This was a big discussion that came up back in the day that a lot of you people forgot about when you're complaining about instancing in Lost Dungeons of Norath. But after Planes of Power, we had heard a lot of like concerns about, you know, people just zerging to mitigate some of that. You know, it was like, how do we control the player count variable? Now, we can do some stuff without instancing, similar to what we did in Pop before we did Eldon, which was essentially only allow a certain amount of people into the space, but it's not an instance. The focus, you know, the focus is less about, at the moment, like, how do we make this tier of content that's restricted to these specific player counts and blah, blah, blah. As it is, like, how do we get the core, like, bulk of the content in and then put some targets of opportunity in that, you know, again, we can play around with abilities without getting totally, like, heavy-handed with the systems. And I think it's just a topic that, it's a very fair question. I don't want to, like, sit here and try to bullshit you with it. Like, I'm not going to give you a bullshit answer. I think it's a fair question. That's something we've just got to work through. For now, I think it's feasible that if the Zerg can survive, then there may be some Zerging, and then we'll really just address it on, like, you know, what the abilities feel like and stuff like that. It's a good question for Nick as well. Ask next time, go into Nick's stream and ask him, like, what are thoughts there, because he's been handling a lot of the abilities, even on stuff where I create like a, you know, if I create like an encounter or something, then it's kind of handed over to him because I'm not good with the ability system, and it's easier to be like, hey, can we add something cool to this? And he does, right? So, but it's a super fair question. Let me scroll up again. Uncle Jay, does that cover you for now? Is that good enough? Do you check out Nick's streams? Aquarium windows underwater. That would be a cool option. Maybe having the option to hang a cage down from these types of housing with enough fishing skill would be nice. Come back next day, have some of your fish in cages. Oh, like fish traps and crab traps, Sir Nasty ass. Yeah, that would be cool. Dark Arrow asks, is the Califrey region populated? Was considering leveling an alt on that side of the world. Yeah, I mean, it's really come along nicely. I think it's worthwhile. Uncle Jay said, yeah, I'll ask Nick as well. It's not an easy answer. Appreciate your insight. Yeah, I mean, we took the easy route after a while. Like, you know, our earlier content in EQ was non-instanced, and yeah, people could Zerg stuff. And the people that were like gearing up to try to kill things, kind of air quotes the right way, were getting a little pissy about it. And so that's one of the things that motivated us to add instancing. But we've talked about like controlled spaces in the past where it's essentially a single instance, but it's a locked environment where we did this. My first experiment with this was in Planes of Power. We didn't have instancing yet. But I had like championed the idea of can we only let X number of people into an area? And the hedge maze was the first pseudo instance that we put into the game, where it was like 3 versions plus I think the one up top, and it would only let 18 people in, right? Hey Ollie, somebody had a question for you earlier. Oh, they had some housing question, like furniture placement and stuff earlier. Bill said, good news, she made it with no complications. She'll be here overnight and we'll be home tomorrow. Hey, right on. tell her that we are thinking of her and hope that she recovers in record time. Did you all hear about Pigeon that dropped a glowing black stone was actually a quest? In 2013, they found out through a query that the GBS was a quest item was supposed to be turned in, but it was never finished. It was Varsoon's Black Heart item lore. Oh, badass. Megafunk said, yeah, Wood Elf area felt pretty fleshed out to me. There we go. Love tier 3 guild houses or guild halls from EQ2 is basically accessible from a dock and loaded you into an island with big castle on it. Yeah, we've talked about like where to take some of this stuff in the future, but we want to keep people in the world as much as possible. Like when you run through Night Harbor and start seeing the signs and stuff come online, like just gives me these visions of what it could be like in the future when you're like when you see people as different signs or different decorations or awnings or window treatments or patio furniture or whatever. So hey, Chronic 1904. Hey, appreciate it. There's I Purge People says, Ollie, housing question here. We found a housing item last playtest, but I got a report from a friend that they couldn't place anything in houses. Is that going to be implemented by the November test or not till EA? Yeah, PI Pip said the only thing I really dislike about no instance encounters is a monopoly people can place on it, particularly when it was a bottleneck to something more grand. Superstream, for example, selling the root rights always felt terrible. Yeah, I mean it's we see it as, I mean, to some people this is a fairly, maybe it's a just a one answer type question, but we see it as it's a double-edged sword or whatever. The world sense that it preserves without instancing. Some of that friction isn't necessarily always bad. Yeah, it's a preference that we have. All right, so we've got 2 more houses to finish, and then we'll put in the market stalls here, and then we'll be done, and then we can maybe go check out Night Harbor. Tyron, probably. All right, so we've just finished House 110. Oh, actually, I was gonna see if you guys wanted to vote on this. I was thinking about letting people rent a couple of these dilapidated houses just because it's kind of silly. I could picture like goblins wanting to live in this. Can towers that are attached visually be hollowed out and used for the building we rent? We'd have to do that manually, Dragon. So it'd just be an update. Ollie said in response to I Purge People, it should be placeable, but the system is in the works. It's not scheduled to have additional work for the November test as we're now closing up the build. However, November test is the last announced playtest before EA. We're working on a scheduled test after November. Yeah, because we're still working on essentially, we're still working. What we've done is we've added, our milestones were basically like November playtest, early access, and it's kind of a gap. And so what we've done is added a milestone that is essentially beta ready, and in between those two, which means you guys are bound to have an additional playtest or two before EA. All right, so we'll come back after we do the other 2 houses, and we'll do a couple of these little goblin shacks. Excuse me. It's Taco Friday, a tradition that I learned about in Sweden. Sweden had really great selection of taco stuff at the grocery store because of Taco Friday. What's up, Esan? All right, so let's dupe this. We'll bring it over here. We'll use that to get the coordinates for the new house entry, like the safe spot, essentially. We'll rotate a little bit in advance. We'll rename it. First of all, we'll create a new parent for it. The parent will be named House 10, 11. We'll click static on here. Notice object only. We'll take it. We'll move it. You can't see this part, I guess, because it's behind me right now. All right, we've got house 10, 11. We'll make this sign 10, 11. 10, 11. Both parts. Great. We'll use it to get the coordinates. Any cave housing? Not yet, but. Not yet, but. And then, oh, wait until you guys see the Underdark. Or, I mean, the Underdocks. And that'll have housing as well. That'll be available for Module 1. That's going to happen right after we go into early access. We'll be looking at trying to get you guys the deep, our version of like the Underdark. The first 5 kind of zones, including the Deep Elf City. So we're already working on that. Thankus, that is true. I'm gonna bring up. This is where I complain about needing another monitor. Duplicate rows. We'll make that the entry for 111. We'll come over here. We'll grab these coordinates from here. We'll put them into the database. X, Y, and Z. Cool. Now we have our house set up. Now that we've got that set up, we'll take this guy. We'll put it up here. And we'll see if it actually touches the wall. Kind of does. Oh, and it's relatively straight. Nice. Good eyeball. All right, we'll make a new door. We'll grab that door over there. Control D. Bring it over here. We'll move it into the correct folder, which I don't know if you can see. We'll rename it. House 111. Which door is this? I think 109. Is that right for the door? That's volumes. Yeah, it's true. Duplicate row. Sorry, 1009. And that's for house 1011. Perfect. That's set up now. Update this. Great. We've got a flat etherer here. That is fantastic. I love it. Algnosis, what's going on, dude? Tired Worm, did I say thank you for the follow 20 minutes ago? I don't feel like I did, because the name Tired Worm would stick with me. Be like, damn, Tired Worm. Again, these doors, little gappage. We'll just fudge it a little bit. Little door fudge. Can't believe it's Friday again already. Jeez Louise. All right, so we got the door in place now. Moving right along. Trebore 25, hello. Dwarfman 7. Thank you for the follow. And now let's get the volumes going on this bad boy. Bring this over here. We got our volume. Before we start messing with it, let's move it to the right folder. Perfect. Let's rename it. It is going to be volume 1046 for house 1011. We'll update here as well. 6, 11. Perfect. Dax Trias said, hey Sean, were you involved in the development of Planes of Power? How about Omens of War? Just curious. Yeah, I was the expansion lead on both of those. That was the first expansion that I was expansion lead on. It was kind of wild because I was an full-time apprentice designer on Shadows of Lucklin right after that, got hired as a full-time designer, and during Planes of Power, essentially was given the title of expansion lead. I did not work on Gates of Discord. I was pulled off for Gates of Discord, and then that's what happened. I was like, what happened? There was like a weird gap in my career where we got 3 of us, the design director, tech director, and the expansion / content lead got pulled off overnight to work on EQ2. Those 2 guys stayed. I said I don't want to work on it. I went to PlanetSide. We did a little mercenary game while Gates of Discord was being developed and launched. Gates of Discord turned into a bit of a shit show. Company apologized to the public, and then Smed put me back on Omens of War. And I said, sure, I'll do it, but it's the last expansion I want to work on. And that was the history. Hey, Nick. Oh, I did say PlanetSide, didn't I? People had questions for you earlier. I said show up at his stream and ask him those questions. Do you know when the new patcher will be up for the test? I don't know if the new patcher is going to be up for the November test, to be honest with you. Omens was one of your favorites? Hey, thanks. I'm glad you liked it. It almost didn't happen. They had just come out of Gates, and things weren't going great for Gates, and then Omens was about to go the same way, and then Smed said, hey, would you come back and do an expansion? And I was kind of like, hey, weren't you the one that pulled me off the frickin' team without my consent? But we decided, we worked it out, we bro hugged, and my goal was to be able to start a new project after that. That did not happen. I eventually landed on a new project, DC Universe, but it was not necessarily what I was hoping. Hey, Condor. Is that Condor Koch, or do you prefer Condor Cock? Coke. It's pronounced different ways depending on where in the world you live. So is it Koch? Koch? Cook? Cook! I've never heard it pronounced cook before. Condor Cook. All right. Listen, a cock is a bird as well. All right. You guys don't need to get sassy. I know it's Friday. Bringing up your high school trauma with Condor Cock? Oh no. Oh, is that your actual last name? Condor? I'm sorry. Is it? Because if it is, I could definitely see how that's traumatizing. My last name is Lord. Which, you know, it's a pretty decent, like, last name. It's a powerful name. But when you're in high school in Alabama, you know what that quickly turns into. They're always like, Lord it is close. It is close to best in slot last name. Until they started just calling you Gaylord all the time. Which, I mean, it wasn't super effective. Like, you know, it didn't stick. You know, and you got to realize high school, this was like, for me, I think 89 through 93, right? 89, 90, 91, 92. Okay, so 90 through 93, isn't that how math works? I don't know. 90, 91, 92, 93. There you go. So, you know, there's definitely a lot more A lot more of that language going on in school than maybe it is today. Cataphract, please leave poor Condor alone. Been traumatized enough already. Now, if your actual name was Condor Cook, like that was your full name, Condor? Thank you for the follow, by the way. And they called you Condor Cock, my response in high school would be, yeah, I know. Condors are huge. Or something along those lines, right? I would be like, I thought it was Koch, pronounced the German way. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like Koch. But even that's, yeah. Anyway, thank you for being here. We'll lay off your name now since it was traumatizing. It's just, that's for those of you new here, that is the kind of humor that happens here. I'm sorry if that is not what you're into. Hey, Digital, what's going on? Did I hear something about flat ether? Why don't you fly up really high and prove it once for all? I can't. I don't want to ruin it. $43, $44, $45, $46, $47. Oh, that's right. That is not correct. I was looking at those other volumes, but those other volumes are stashed in one. We're off now. Let me update the count on this. This is 48. And 40, or even longer. I think we did 3 volumes. We only added the 2 additional volumes. Okay. 48. Because remember, we started this off by adding some volumes to house number 1000. Okay. And so this will be 48. Cool. And then this will be 49. Yes. 49. Wonderful. So duplicate that. And then we'll look at this. Oh, because we didn't pull that yet. We'll come over here. Try this guy about here. Is Ollie talking to you guys? Good. Or has he stopped? Well, shit. Has Eminem already run into legal issues regarding its name in short with the candy company? No, we haven't yet. But thanks for putting that out there in the universe. I appreciate it, buddy. If we have any lawyers from whatever it is, Mars Corporation at this point, in the chat, listen. We don't send the cease and desist to whatever fake address we put on our paperwork. Send it to our shell corporation. You'll never find us. We're outlaws. Tavish O, thank you for the follow. Oh, one of the persons on my very enjoyable morning phone call was is a lawyer, is a friend of a friend, and now I would like to say is a friend as well. He's probably watching the stream and just like shaking his head saying, "Don't say that. Don't say that." Just a little warning, Schwan. Because apparently he's from New York. Little warning, Schwan. Don't say the things you say. Like, I can't help it. Shit. It's not like there's going to be any video evidence or anything of any of the things I say, right? Oh, Dankus. Don't do it. Yeah, it's definitely a Brooklyn accent. I shocked Nick and John the other day with this, but I'm sure you knew Might and Magic was made by New World Computing. M&M was made by NWC? No. Really? That's nostalgic, isn't it? Oddly nostalgic. You gotta love some Might and Magic. Totally unplanned, Pipes. You just live in the Matrix. Did that really happen? Control D. We'll start the process all over again. The sim does recycle old material. It's true. It's 100% true. It makes the sim more ecologically friendly, I think. All the recycling. That's why history may not repeat, but it does rhyme, right? It's the sim. Is this the final font? You guys are going with signage? No. In font and sign. No. There'll definitely be there'll be some iteration and there'll be some options over time. Different sign options. For you guys that like options. You have to write your own sign in mud? You mean like a mud action or? Well, we ever going to see war events between factions, cities getting attacked? I mean, I can say yes for like relatively straightforward ones, right? We've got that capability now. That might be a cool world event. Remember when we did that with the Froglocks back in the day? Yeah, like the Velius stuff. Now there's going to be interfaction conflict in Night Harbor. There are 3 major factions kind of vying for power. Let's not add painting them. The amount of meatballs with hot dog on top would appear. Yeah, we were not going to let you just free form. So the ring event, speaking of, you know how I was saying I was speaking with a friend of a friend this morning? The friend who introduced me, or no, sorry, yeah, to the new friend, is actually the guy that did the ring event. Our dear friend Steve. Which, if you haven't watched the interview that I did with Steve, you really should. Like, if you guys aren't familiar with the channel, if you're not familiar with, you know, some of the stuff that I've done in the past, there's a lot of people that have just, you know, kind of come along. Some of you guys have been here for 5 years or whatever. But there you go. There's a series of like interviews I did with EQ people. So look for the one with Steve Burke. What was the ring event? It was a series of quests that built up to the 10th ring. It was called the 10th Ring War. It's how you got your 10th ring. And essentially, it was a battle between the giants. They attacked Thurgoden. Condor said, very good. I'll check those out. I was a little too young for EQ, but was big on Vanilla WoW. You know what? Every time one of you guys makes your way in here, it brings us joy. Yep, that was in Velius. It's so cool to see some of you guys that are like, that started up on WoW in here. It's exciting for us. So 112, we got house 112 going. Let's go ahead and get a door going. Does the bathhouse have a... Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't get the safe spot here, so let's just do that with the door really quick. Though this one may be a little wonky because I don't know exactly how it's reading the center point here, but it'll be all right. Good enough for government work. Purge said, I'm another one of those that started on WoW in 2004 but wound up here. Fantastic. In all its seriousness, fantastic. Does the bathhouse have a purpose? Like, for example, when you haven't been to the bathhouse in 10 real life hours, do you get a debuff? In the sense of increased chance to catch disease? No, but if you go to the bathhouse, you get a buff. Positive reinforcement. Alright, let me click on this again to... There we go. Let's get these coordinates typed in for house 1012. 1012. Coordinates X, Y, and Z. Cool. Got that set up. Minimize that so I can see you guys again. Listening to your interview with Jeff Butler, I have so many EQ history questions, but I won't bog your chat down asking them. I may not know the answers, to be honest with you. Any different doors that are allowed to alter on housing? Yeah, we're going to provide door options eventually. Yeah, digital. We don't want to, you know, we know you got business to do out and about in the wild. We're not going to debuff you for stanking. For being stank. Are we getting crafting stations for housing? Yes. We'll provide crafting stations for housing. You will be able to allow other people to use them or rent them. You know, that's the thing you just kind of work out with them on the side. And then it won't just be limited to housing. You'll be able to access them in different ways, like through NPC trade guilds and stuff like that as well, before anybody gets upset that they may not have access. So we'll be playing with that stuff. All right, so we got the door in now. That's nice. Let's update the door. We'll move it into the correct folder. We'll update what it is called. It is door 109. And it is house 112. 12. Cool. We'll do that here as well. Or is it? Maybe it's not 109. Let's see. This one says 108. 108. Okay, we had this one mislabeled, so we'll update that to be 109. On the top level title, we'll come here. It's going to be 110. And we'll update that. Cool. And then we'll come in here. And add that door in the database. 110. I know it's not 110, it's 1010. I should probably say it correctly if I want to say it. And that is 1012. Cool. Set up. Great. And now let's do the volumes. Duplicate. Bring over here. Get it ready to put in. Let's go ahead and move it into the right folder. And that is volume 1050 for house 112. 1250. And now we can get it in place. Hey, Mr. Steel Rose. Wool Socks, what's going on? Way to line up that door. Hey, it did kind of pop in there, didn't it, Cad? Oh man, looking at the disenchanting table that Brandon made. That looks pretty tight. Different. We have 2 Brandons actually. If we ask. Cool. Perch said, I have such imminent brain right now. I just looted an Ether in Pokemon Blue and read it as Ether. That's awesome. I'm glad that we could do that to your brain. Never been super big into crafting. Usually like grind, raiding, and farming gear. How detrimental to the game is crafting? What do you mean detrimental? How integral? Integral. I just made up a word, guys. Integral? Like, how critical is it that you participate with it? Is that the question? And obviously, I'm not making fun of your word choice since I can't speak English at the moment. Well, set you behind? Nah. I mean, and that's what other people are for, right? What's up, Swanee? The hope is that it provides enough value that you want to interact with people who do crafting, and some of that nice loot that you're bringing back from all of your raiding and grinding or whatever. Grinding and... What did you say? You are primarily grinding, raiding, and farming gear? Yeah. Then hopefully there's a little bit of like a symbiotic relationship. Some symbiosis. Some synergy, as they say in corporate America. Some nice synergies. Get yourself a synergy drink. Nimmy Elf says, I have a few WoW friends that are spoiled by maps. Could they ever be put in games such as ending up as craftable soul or part of the navigation skill? We've talked about like some static, just sort of a picture that pops up kind of maps. As being an item. We've talked about that for a long time. So when people are like, oh, you know, no maps or whatever, we've always talked about like a static, no GPS, because we always thought it would be cute if like you could buy a map from a goblin and it's just like some crude ass Crayola looking partially wrong kind of map, right? Just for the cute factor. But the main thing you should tell your WoW friends is it's time to grow up. It's time to learn about like looking around and navigating the wild based on landmarks, using the sun in the sky, the moon. It's about learning to be like a grizzly bear of a beast of a person and just be like, listen, it's time to toughen up, Buttercup. It's time for you. It's time for you to look around and remember shit. Because back when I was a kid, we didn't even have printers to print out the map. We actually had to learn where shit was. How do I get to Timmy's house? You go down the one road that's paved. You take a right on the 3rd dirt road to the right. Go down past the trailer. When you see the rope swing, that's not the right one. Keep on going until you hit the stump. And that's how we would find stuff when I was a kid. Timmy, he did live in the stump house. It's true. And the only reason why we went there is because he had a cute sister. She is smart and sophisticated, but she only liked the older boys. Man, basically a true story. Did I just look over my shoulder to make sure I wasn't going to get smacked for talking about Timmy's hot sis? Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Did you not see the revolver tampon holder she 3D printed? She's dangerous. Were you guys not in here for that part of the show? If you missed it. She made this for her gun club. For the girls' bathroom in the gun club. 3D printed it. Inserted the magnets. So the lid works. Painted the end caps. The projectiles. Did you see the gun parts? Did you both see the gun parts? Wait. Needs to be on Etsy. Well, she got the print file was readily available, so yeah, that person may not like it when you capitalize on their tampon holder. That booth at the Texas State Fair would finance a mansion. Hey, needs to be on Etsy. Share. If you hit me up in Discord, Lions Den, I'll make sure that you find the file. All right. So what do we got here? 1051. Same house. We'll update that real quick. 1051. Then we'll put it in a DB. We'll get back to work. So real quick, duplicate rows with keys. 1050 for house 1012. Duplicate it again. 1051, 1012, and we're good. Let me post this here so I don't forget it. Went on a road trip with my daughter from home to X using only paper map, no phone, no GPS. It was awesome. People really need to get back to find their way around. In all seriousness, is it bead or BD? I asked before, but I forgot. Yeah, it is. I kid and stuff, but I do find that if I force myself not to use Google Maps or whatever, like maybe the second or third time I try to get someplace in town, I actually learn where the thing is. And if I don't, then I'm constantly like, when you just default to that, it's kind of like, I don't know if you drive a lot with your significant other, and it's always like, hey babe, where's this? Or do I take a left here or take a right? Even if you've been there like 10 times, if you always do that, it just doesn't stick. But if you force yourself to just like, no, then yeah. Does Goblin still stream? He does, but it's been Canadian Thanksgiving, so he may not have streamed recently. I have to look. I thought he did just recently stream though. Tiny Kneebreaker, you can't extort me. Trying to extort me with that? What do you think? That's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me on this stream? Lord. Will fletching ever incorporate magic / poison arrows, or will that always be skill based? Fern Times asked. If Nick's not listening and does not answer here, then you need to go to Nick's stream the next time he's streaming and ask him. All right, so again, let's duplicate this sign. So now we'll do, it's Control-Shift-G to create a new parent object. We'll do house 1013. Glorious. But yeah, and in all seriousness, how's everybody's Friday going? I'm having a good day. Things are feeling good. Woke up early, got a nice call in. That was a great conversation. It's always nice to meet cool new people. Wound up having a good day. We even snuck in a quick little nap since Jasmine was still home from work sick, but she's recovering. It's good. And then got a workout in, got some work done, drinking caffeine. Oldest birthday tomorrow. Spend the day at the playground. Had cupcakes with all his buddies. That's fantastic. What are people saying? Just grinding, doing good. Dargit said, I've been catching Nick's VODs because his live stream super lagged for me for some reason. Oh, that's weird. But I love seeing the class ability stuff getting implemented. Really fun to watch. Yeah, it's a great stream. And like I say, I'm not trying to abdicate and like not try to answer your shit or whatever when people ask about it, but it's like, just go to the source. When you've got class questions and, you know, like ability questions and stuff like that, go to the source. We're going to put the safe spot here. We're going to give this guy a balcony as well. Or a little, yeah, balcony, porch. Seawallin70, thank you for the follow. What else were people saying? Pretending to work per usual. Friday stream hours. Hey, that's good to hear, Redris. Sure your employer appreciates me. Catching up on work. Been behind all week. Well, I hope you get caught up before the weekend pipes. Beating up DL trash to try and hit 50. Right on. DL, I'm assuming Dreadlands. Saturday morning, so already in weekend mode. Tavish, where are you? Are you in Australia or something? Yeah, you're in Dreadlands? Right on. Great zone. Playing some Elder Scrolls Online with a while the network is down off-site. Right on. Solid game. Underrated. I was just talking to someone about that. Underrated game. I do love digging into the game systems using skills though. Will sense heading fall into navigation system when it's implemented? If we have a sense heading, then it would be oh, yeah. It would be cool if it was part of the navigation system. That is correct. I think we've talked about that in the past. If it's implemented, it would be cool if it was there. Because we do have a navigation trait skill, right? Don't know what we're going to do with it fully, but yeah. You've probably said this to me before and I've just forgotten it. Sorry, but Doc said working on my future hacienda. I see. Having great Friday. Stoked to join the stress test tomorrow. Right on. Have you seen some of the other houses here? There's some cool houses. We're gonna do a rundown goblin houses in a minute. Going to a German restaurant with the wife tonight. Never really had German food. What do I recommend you try out? Davion, I would say if you haven't had German food and they have it, sauerbraten. Like, do you like kind of like vinegary like barbecue? Da Kuan. Okay, I'm gonna try to remember it. Still pushing you to make a go called Crawl Dads. That'd be cool. You guys should do it. I'm not going to do it. Are you thinking about saving all versions of the code so you can backtrack in the future? When we're older, I might even do progression servers. Ali is on top of that. Ali is all over that. Has been. Spätzle is fantastic. Basically, Spätzle will be like a noodle. If you get Käse Spätzle or cheese Spätzle, it's like a cheesy noodle. Really good. Sarahwin25, thank you for the follow. Sauerbraten is essentially it's kind of like a vinegary pickled pot roast, essentially. It's like a German pot roast. Got a very vinegary taste though, but I love it. Like it'll make your face like warm from the like the baseness of it or whatever vinegar is. Got a great flavor. If you're not into that, you could look for something called rouladen. And how's that pronunciation? Decent. So is it an acid? Vinegar is an acid? Oh, you're right. Vinegar is an acid. So that's what it is. Why did I think base? It's clearly an acid. Because they actually, I think, call acid like vinegar here in the German word for vinegar. Isn't that right? Like, what is acid? Soda? Oh yeah, that's right. There is vinegar acid then. Essig soda. But so look for rouladen, which is a very flat, like piece of like strip steak or something like that, kind of a flat steak with like onions and pickles and some other stuff wrapped in a roll and then cooked in a really nice sauce. Yeah, so those guys, if you like pork more, then look for like Schweinehaxen. It's like a big pork knuckle, really good. What is it? Oh yeah, Krustenbraten, which is a pork with a crispy skin. Yeah, anyways, it's gonna be rich. Whatever you get, if it's a good German restaurant, if it's legit, if you walk out of there feeling like a ton of bricks, then you've had a good German meal. All right, like it is, you're gonna be sweating. You're not gonna be looking to invade a neighboring country at all afterwards. And that's what happened. That's what happened. The Germans ran out of food. You don't want Germans to run out of food. They're very agile once they're spry people. They're very quick when they're hungry. You want them to stay, yeah, they get hangry. You want them to stay very loaded down with rich pork and heavy beef and noodles. So, yeah. My wife is German. This is correct. And this is how I know about the spryness in German. Yeah. You may also, depending on the restaurant, it may be sausages and beer and bread, some pretzels. So that could be it as well. So I wish you all the fun in the world. Hopefully it's a good restaurant and you enjoy it. Well, peace depends on carb loading German people. It's true. Will the balcony steps be restricted to permission use? The balcony will. We could do the other one, but for now, I'm thinking we're just going to approach this where up to the door is free, and then from here over will be permission based. That's how we're going to set this up. We can always we can alter these later. Let me set up this house real quick, though. I'll start the house entry here, and this will be house number 1013. Duplicate row 1013 1013. And then we'll go over to here. We're going to grab the X, the copy Y, and the Z. Sorry, I was just looking at that. That looks really off. Let me do that one more time. There we go. Yeah, that was not the right number. Cool. Okay, so now we've got this one ready to go, the base. Then we can put the sign up here. We'll put it on this side this time, so it's closer to the approach. Pretzel and Bratwurst while drinking Weissbier und wearing Lederhosen. Jawohl. For October. Oh yeah, it's October. You guys are probably going to German restaurants because it's October. Makes sense. Dakuan? Is that correct this time? Dakuan said, yes, please. I would love to see other houses. I'll be making an inn for folks to visit during their travels. We definitely want to eventually support that as fully as possible. I think it'll be great. Awesome. Glad I nailed it. Sandy Pask asks, hey Sean, some days ago I saw you weren't planning on having a standard EU server for the game. Is that correct? I live in Germany. It'd be terrible to have 188 milliseconds. Well, I mean, we're not that ping dependent. So we'll see. The main thing with having like a completely separate server for the EU is just we need to have the population. If we have the population, sure. But I think with this game, you'll find a number of Euro folks are going to be fine playing in the US. I'll be playing on a US server. Oops. Ollie plays on our East Coast servers from Bahrain just fine. Swanee said, yeah, that's right. He's in Bahrain, so he's even further east. Davion says, no, we don't drink. It just sounded good and we have been eyeballing it for a while. Tonight is the night we decided to try out. Hey, I wish you the best of luck. I don't drink either. We don't drink. You know, if you just don't drink it at all, then you don't even have to worry about like the non-alcoholic beer, but they've got that. That's very popular in Germany now. Addinga from Brauhaus Helles is my favorite, Dankis says. You guys have been playing on Euro servers every playtest since forever, I think. It's been in the Netherlands. How do you guys manage that? It's just not a very ping-dependent game. Will you be streaming during stress tests at all? It's a good question. No, I don't. I mean, if you're streaming, I don't have to. Just do CS or whatever, or I can, depending on when it's, depending on when it starts or whatever, we could take turns. This is in-game music. Hey, there's no need for pause on that one. What did you picture? I said we could take turns. I didn't say we could tag team it. I didn't. It's not that kind of stress test. And this is why people this is why I get DMs in Discord about the the vibe of our Discord. The chat's a little randy. I'm like, I don't know what to say. People want you. Well, let's figure out a stream plan then. Cad, now you're taking it too far. See? You see how you will take it? And then you'll just step right over too far? That's your one per week. Fair. That is fair. You have been rather good this week. With the German influences we seem to have, will the food and game reflect that somehow? Maybe as we move out east towards Terralon or East Tim. Are we going to see a stream with you and Nick, sponsored by Kirkland? I wish. Get some of those good beverages flown out here. We don't even have is it Costco or Sam's Club, Kirkland? Costco? We don't have that here. Door 1011. All right. Static 1011. House 1012. Goody. Or no, sorry, 13. 1013. Does that mean this door was not correct? Of course, it means that. Nine, 10, 11. Great. Currently weaning off the cold brews after I found out that one of those little cans is 2.3 cups of coffee worth of caffeine. Just drank 25% of a cold brew. Yeah, you gotta watch out. You gotta build up to it. Costco, cool. You gotta build up your tolerance. Alright, so get this label fixed. House 1012, it's not, it's 1013. I think we're all squared away here. Let me go ahead and just don't get their protein powder. Oh, really? Is it not good? We use a brand called Vilgain. You guys were asking about the pre-workout and energy drink thing at some point that I was using in the protein powder. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Oh, us.vilgain.com. Okay, you can get it over there. We've been using these products and enjoy it. Whoa, definitely not a dark mode screen. Bunch of protein powders getting recalled, I think, because they found lead in it. Lead's not bad for you. That's so overstated. The Romans, they drank out of like lead everything. I can tell you the things that I've consumed from here, and it's great, and then we'll get off of this like non-dark mode screen for you guys. So, all of their protein powders mix really well and are decent. The creatine, I think all creatine is drink lead for the coming wars ahead. You are a poet. You did not know it. But yeah, so they got cookie dough here. Where is it? They've got like these jars of cookie dough that you can get. They're delicious. Is it not here? It's somewhere. Snacks, maybe? Anyways, dig around on the site. You'll find the cookie dough. It's really good. And so, but their protein powder is decent. They're not showing the... Is it because it's the US site? Anyways, they've got a good casein that you can take before bed. Yeah, it seems like there's less shit on here. I don't know. Maybe you guys just don't get access to everything in America. Sorry. That's a switcheroo. Usually it's us not getting access to anything over here. Oh my god, it is better with that site gone. It's so bright, right? I think the issue with lead is more for the ones drinking diesel fuel from the pump. I don't think either of those things. Will you be able to pay sub with euros, or will you have to go through currency conversion like in EQ? You have to do currency conversion in EQ? I don't know. I'm assuming you can pay in euros. Swanee? Enjoy the stress test with some good leaded coffee. There we go. M&M coffee with lead. Osmos, we will use it. What the gosh was I? Darn it. Volumes now. We should be able to do local currency, Swanee said. What about PayPal? What is your stance and mindset about power leveling in this game? We're not against it. Like if you're getting power leveled, that means you've got friends or a account that you've already invested time in. Both of those things are fine. It's kind of fun, right? It's like hot rodding a character. We accept Doge. That is a... Yeah, I mean, you know, but those are different topics. Like, Swanee said, yes, the PayPal hasn't answered about Doge and said as long as you don't take over the whole zone. Yeah, but that's disruption. Then you're being disruptive. It could be, Cat. It could be. Stripe does offer cryptocurrency payments, so it's possible we could accept Doge. Well, there you go. Since we're using Stripe. I was just talking about Swanee earlier today. I was talking about this wonderful gentleman that was like, "Hey, I can handle setting up your payments for you." A member of the community, a member of other communities that we've hung out in. And he kept asking and like, "Hey man, I could do this for you." And we're like, "All right, well, cool. We have questions now." And then Swanee came on board and decided to make probably one of the dopest customer service and also design support web suites of applications that I've seen since I've been in the industry. So go team. That was really nice. That was a nice surprise, Swanee. Swanee needs to stream. He probably should. He's not as grumpy in person as he seems sometimes in text. You do seem I'm just gonna say it. Sometimes you seem a little grumpy, Swanee. A little extra than I originally was thinking we are gonna do, but it's been fun, huh? Yeah. Now he's only grumpy if you're doing evil in game. Grumpy web dev, never heard of such a thing. Why do I keep doing that? Control D to make another volume because we need an outside volume as well. See, I can't say that word out loud. I'm trying to watch my F-bombs, Swanee. Swanee's a former military man, so you know the language those folks have. There is glow-in-the-dark filament, Jasmine. Are you getting it? Badass. Hey, vodka soup. Let Swami stream. Maybe he can accept. I read that in the voice of the Leave Britney Alone. Easton said, infantryese. It's true. It's a different vocabulary. Medium Avum. Did I pronounce it correct? Said, hey Sean, hope your day is going well, bud. Hey, thank you. Likewise. My day's been great. It's been a fun day. Will there be a total overview of the closed alpha testers at the end, like on the open play tests has been done? Oh, like data from them or whatever? Oh, that's an interesting question. No discussion of it to date, but... Huh. That is an interesting question, yeah, because we do look at that data. We've got that data. That is... Huh. Dankus? They fire enough fireworks out there? Oh, it's the first night of the fair? That makes sense. Closed retrospective celebrate transition from alpha to beta could be cool. Yeah, I think that's a fair idea. Don't let me forget that. Is that the fireworks or are the Germans hangry again? Davion, that is a good question. All right, so 10. 1054. All right, that's the last volume for here. So and I think, is that the last formal house? And then we get to do janky houses and stalls. So let's do our first janky house and then we'll do stalls. All right, so you guys get to help design this concept here. So let's go. We're going to create the... Is this one good? 54, 53. Perfect. I got to tell you guys, I do enjoy spending... There are some... I'm not going to bullshit. There are days for sure when I know I've got a stream coming up, like starting at 8, and I'm just beat to death, and there's stuff I need to get done, and I'm behind, and I'm like... I'm not very effective on stream of like getting stuff done. And so I'm like, oh man, tonight's stream, oh, you know, I'm just going to admit it. I'm human. But then there are other nights where it's just such a nice way to round out the day or round out the week especially. And it's just a lot of fun sitting here with you guys, bullshitting and working. There was another question from Medium. Let me scroll up and see. It looks like I missed it. Where was it? There's Medium there. How's your day going? Scrolling down. There was a question about housing, I guess, that I don't see it on my list at all. But Purge seems to have covered it. Cool. You're a robot. Don't ever admit you're human. Well, I mean, I like to convince myself of that idea. First of all, let's go here. I did not set this to static, so that would have been broken probably. What about this one? Also not. Probably broken as well. This one set. This one set. Okay. We'll collapse these up to make a little bit more room, or just have everything kind of come down at us, whichever. And then we'll come here and look at this. We'll do Control Shift G. We'll make a new parent. We'll call this house. Yes, house 1014 Janky. We'll name it Janky. That'll be its house type, whereas this one's probably, we'll call this one we don't necessarily need to distinguish the fact that it's got a porch. Nah, robot. My buddy is in Medium's Guild. It's just me relaying the questions I asked earlier to the person themselves, cutting out the middle. Oh, right on. How are we feeling about EA for Q1, January, with how things are going? I think January's, I don't know, man. rather than focus too much on like whether or not January is realistic, I think Q1 is the target. But we're not. We want to get stuff done before beta. We're coming up on November. We want to be very firm in like what we go into beta with. So our focus, I think I mentioned it. You probably missed it. I mentioned it at the onset of the stream. We've added a new milestone. We added a new milestone that's just like beta ready, and we're putting it between the November playtest milestone and early access milestone, and that's our focus. So, and the reason why I'm hesitant is I don't like to like be on stream and be like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna do it or whatever, and not have had more of the conversation with the team first. It seems kind of rude to them. But I think the reality is, the easiest way to say it is we're just focused on getting into a very solid beta. And then we'll figure it out from there. Q1 still seems feasible, but like January, it sounds, to me, that feels like we'd be pushing our luck, but you never know. So ask again in 2 or 3 weeks. Anytime that we take to get into early access, though, we'll always compensate you guys with, you know, some place test opportunities, right? Is your table and chairs going to be put out on the lawn if you miss a payment? No, it goes to the customs house, the customs agent. How about a goblin house payment collector instead of a notice? Goblin is still stuck to, but goblin is still stuck to the door. Nailing goblins to the doors is not nice. We don't want to encourage that kind of game. Mark this unread so I can read it later or tomorrow. Mark unread. Make sure I'm not missing anything crazy in Slack. I'm not. Cool. We were at house sign 1014. We'll bring this up. All right, so we're starting the first dilapidated house. As we were saying, goblins and other weirdos might want a house like this, so necromancers. My little necromancer, my little gnome necromancer, she might live in a place like this. The sign should be crooked. That is a good touch. See, this is why we do this on stream. All right, we're gonna have the sign be crooked. Let's get this thing started. So it's 1014, janky. Let's go up. We'll start a new entry in the DB for 1014. Duplicate row with keys. 10 1 4. Let's get the coordinates. X, Y, Z. Cool. Then, so we got that. We can place the sign now. Let me minimize this so I can see you guys. Wicca Sloth with a good idea here. Let's go. Here. Which way do you want it to be crooked? This way or that way? You get to pick. Is it canted left or is it canted right? Wicca Sloth, it was your idea. Left? Okay. Like that? I was trying not to gulp into the mic again, so I just punched it, which I'm sure sounded good as well. Pro gamer moves right now. All right, so we got the crooked sign. Perfect. Door or not a door? I think door would not look right. We can try it real quick. Do you want to try a door? It'd be cool if it stayed that way, but had different color square behind it where it was. That would be a nice touch. The door it would be really funny. I was thinking like, you know, you open the door, it's just like the wall's missing, but it's a formality. Door on the floor? I don't know. I think for now, let's try the actual door and see if it looks too bad. Door laying on the ground still functional. Oh, we need basement doors. We need like storm cellar doors. Laying on the ground but still functional. Alright, if this doesn't work, we'll do that. I don't... Half door? We'll have to get a half door made. We'll put this... if I sink it into the ground, it's not going to look right, I don't think. I don't think that's the move. We'll get a half door made. Maybe Chinny, since he likes the door, would do that. Storm cellars would be great. Oh, in the zone you're working in. Yeah, COD's working on one of the Module 1 zones called Fields of the Lost. So, oh, I have a thing. I found a... I have an image that I saved for you. CAD. I switch it up every once in a while. I don't know. I could send it to you. I just saved it earlier. Let's find it. Images. I'll be boomer like and I'll just put my phone. I don't know. Let's see if this actually renders. This one's for you, Steve. Will it? Nah, it's not gonna do it. I'll send it to you. It's like a super foggy Waffle House. You've probably already seen it online. It's like super foggy Waffle House sign. It said, "What if we kissed at the Silent Hill Waffle House?" And I thought of you. Not the kissing part, but the Silent Hill. Maybe the kissing part too. What are you gonna do? Call HR? But also not the kissing part. The Atomic Frog, it's true. It's as a great president once said, we harass some people. Which door is this? This is door 112. I joined because there's no HR. I know. I've noticed that with you. You definitely... Looks like something I could afford. How much does she cost? We have not figured out the pricing yet, but we think this one's going to be in demand, so it may actually cost more. Isn't that weird? It's kind of like buying a shabby house in Austin, Texas. Broken wagon outside. About $250. House number 214. $100 million. Oh yeah, it's the pinky, right? Not too shabby, it's broken in. I want to make a joke that I absolutely can't. Ah, there are limits even to what we can joke about here. So, stack ID 1012. I'll pay more for a place to hang heads or ears for PvP kills. Humjum, you need to keep some of those thoughts here. The intrusive thoughts need to stay inside sometimes, buddy. Cat, if you send me a DM, I'll tell you what I was gonna say that I absolutely won't say here. You'll probably even LOL. What are we doing other than wasting time saying bad things? 55. That'd be 14. House 14. I need a ship for me crew. Oh man, we eventually want to get shipped in. Will we be able to buy bigger fishing poles for large fish in the ocean? That is a great idea. I assume we'd be able to build boats with carpentry and build some sort of it. We were talking about boats recently. I was talking with potential new addition to the team. Because we have the mount system, and we've always thought it would be cool to take the mount system and use that to do little like boats that are essentially just the mounts, right? So maybe we add like a little zone that you can zone to outside of here, so you're not cluttering up the landscape for the bigger boats or something. But yeah, little mount boats. We've talked about that one when we were making the mount system. No joke. It's just an art difference for the most part. Probably a bit of a navigate. I say it's just an art difference, and Zilla's head just exploded somewhere. Didn't even know why. Yeah, so it'll be like there'll be some navigation limitations and stuff like that, unless we put in Gnomish Submersibles. Gnomish submersible boats. Oh man, it's our game. We can do whatever we want. It's just a matter of if we have enough players for a long enough time, Gnomish Submersibles, all right? It's on the stretch goals. If we have X number of subs for X number of months or years or whatever. You had that idea in 2004? Well, you better move fast because we're about to snatch that shit up and make money off of it. Can ogres use gnomes as fishing bait? Maybe. No, that's horrible. Subs for a sub campaign. We need to start our own like little Kickstarter page that's basically just stretch goals. On PvP? Okay, maybe. Is that what you said? Yeah. Gnomish submersible. This is why we can't get any real work done, because you guys are just sitting there throwing out $1 million ideas. That's why I'm mislabeling houses over here. 100,000 active subs. Gnomish Submersibles. Get to work, guys. Dude, Swanee, we really do need to make a stretch goals page. We'll say it's just a joke. It's not a joke. What was I doing? Oh, now we need a volume. It could be part of the in-game too, when you build boats to get to Insane Islands. Well, the part of the end game is you rent boats to get to Insane Islands, and then once we've got the build boats part of it, then we'll continue that. That's what expeditions are. We actually have an expedition. We have a special place. I'm not going to reveal too much. We have a place that contains another place. It's super cool. You haven't seen it. Stretch goal Kickstarter. Time to change the name of the game to Ether Citizen. No, because it's going to be just based on subs. It's going to be based on subs, so you can't put that on us. Though it would be nice to have a crowd-funded game that you know, made $1 billion. They're at like 800 million in funding. I know you're only memeing. I'm playing along. Hope you reach $1 billion in donations. That would be nice. That would be good for the team. If we got $1 billion in donations in the tip jar, I promise totally to not even run off with the money and assume a new identity and live in the mountains. Probably. The team is what Sean calls his future yacht. My future submersible. I'll send you a picture of the Gnomish submersible as we're entering it with Rune in one arm. Our bag full of Little Debbie snack cakes in the other. Entering, waving goodbye to everybody. And then disappear. Good news, you made $1 billion. Bad news, 900 million came from the No Corpse Recovery Lobby. Yeah, well, we'll thank them for their money, and we'll have them think about what they just did as they are waiting for someone to help them get their corpse. Comma 77TW, thank you for the follow. Oh no, too soon, Swanee. Our submersible. Oh fuck, is that a PS5 controller? No! That is too soon. Those poor guys. Is there any lore, names or lore yet given to the M&M's Three Moons? Yes, Fallon. Did you hear about the 15 billion pig butchering scam that was revealed by the FBI? No. That sounds like something I'll have to Google when I get to bed. Where do you think I got all my Doge from? From the pig butchering scam? Not meaning animals, it's a financial scam? Oh, good. Okay, that makes it a little bit better, probably. I have to look. I don't know what that is. I have to look it up. I'm not aware of. It's a Bitcoin story? Interesting. What an odd thing to ask. Are you creating boundaries where you can place things in the house? Yes. So the volumes penetrate the wall, but then the system knows that a wall is a wall and a floor is a floor. And then it just kind of keeps them in there. Over time, we'll have a distinction between outdoor and indoor volumes. so that we can kind of control what sort of objects are being placed as well. Pig butchering is a rather crass term given to a type of financial scam, mostly targeting elderly people. It's a real thing though. That is horrific. And that's one of those things where I honestly think I'm okay with close your ears if you don't. Well, you won't be able to know. I tell you what, if you're sensitive, earmuffs, I'll tell you when to take them off by waving my hand like this. Earmuffs. Yeah, I'm pretty cool with like, you know, if you've scammed old people out of their money, death penalty. We're not going to get into politics or whatever. I think it's fairly straightforward. Then we'll move to a new topic, but just like a, you know, real quick public execution, and then we'll move on. There we go. We can move on to a happier topic. Davion, too far. Let's not name any countries that may or may not be considered home to scams. What do I enjoy most in and about Germany? I mean, I like the people. I like my wife. And I don't know. It's just got such a southern Germany, especially, is just such a beautiful place. You know, where you can just kind of go hiking and there's ruins of old castles and castle walls and stuff. I enjoy the food here. I like it. I like the people are, you know, they're a bit different, but when you see them on the street or whatever, they can be a little standoffish at times, but met just a lot of great people here. If you drink, they've got great beer. I love their fests. Just great atmosphere a lot of times. Dude, the amount of history here is just insane. The preserved castles, museums, old structures, buildings that are just like buildings you live in that are 500, 600 years old. German drivers are not that bad, Tsunami-san. The Autobahn is actually fairly tame. Is it strong beer? They do have strong beer here, yeah. If we put a ladder here, then we could do, you know, the upper part as well. But we'll come back. We can make this fancier if necessary. House volume 1056. I didn't want to miss the thing that you said. Some up here. Skulky said, part of my job is preventing people from having their identity stolen. I talk to old people all day who think their boyfriend online just needs a link to their bank account so they can get citizenship and then come over to them. There's so much of that stuff. It really, not to get back on the topic, but just to close it out by saying, I appreciate that you are helping those folks. It's very unfortunate. It makes me really unhappy that I don't like to see people victimized, to be honest. You know, it's not. I know that's not a super shocking thing to say, but cool. Let's see. The ones here will run you off the road. Talking people from Germany. I don't know, man. I haven't seen it be that bad here. We're on the Autobahn every once in a while, and it's not too bad. Will there be buildable walls from the carpenter? That might be a thing that we can do in the future, but yeah, it's Cat. Why are we bringing up old stuff? That's behind us now. That was like literally minutes ago that I said that. Should it only be one house or should we do more? Should we have other janky goblin houses or should it just be the one? You guys let me know. Want to see some old Belgian Trappist monasteries as well? And if you're into the Trappist beer, that's good. Someone said, Danka said, German Schwarzwald looks amazing indeed. I love it. We've gone on a number of camping trips down to the Schwarzwald. You know what? We have never had a Schwarzwalder Kirschtorte in the Black Forest region. It's always been up here. Never found it down there. I knew a German lady named Ute, pronounced Ute, and an Australian is a Ute. You have an aunt, right? Ute, yeah. Ute, and Gudrun. Her mom is Gudrun, and then she's got an aunt Ute and an aunt Jutta. Yeah, Ute in Australia is basically an El Camino, like a modern El Camino. Utes are pretty awesome. In the whole, like, Ute culture. Excuse me. Alright, so let's get busy on this one as well. It'll have a door too. A door. Control D. House 1015. Housing items to place on the ceiling. There should be, yes. I've definitely set up some houses with that in mind, like some really high ceiling chandeliers and stuff. Oh, you know what we do have to look at? You know what? Thank you for the exploit. PvPing from within a house. So, oh yeah, we're going to have to turn off combat in these volumes if we haven't already. Ollie might have already figured that out. But I can absolutely, you guys will absolutely stand here and nuke people from within the confines of your locked house that no one can loot your body corpse on. Yep, you will. Yep, of course you will. Obviously you will. Obviously you will. You thought you were gonna sneak that by us. I'm like the Barney Fife of frickin' game development here. Can the housing volume be made to block LOS? I think that would do it. Lasava, good call. There you go. Such a goblin move. No, people would never do something like. Of course they wouldn't. No fight clubs and houses in. You're right. I think just the LOS, including the door. Yeah, people would hop in and out though. That's still fair. Yeah, I mean, but if you fight somebody near near their house, right? Well, if you see them hop in and out of the house, then you can assume that they might hop back in. No castle doctrine? That is a fair question. Castle doctrine. There you go. What's up, Goblin? People were asking about you earlier. How you doing, buddy? How was your Thanksgiving? There he is. You asked, and he is here. How are the stand your ground laws in Ether? Well, on the PvP server, it's pretty straightforward. Mm-hmm. 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 We could. That reminds me, we need to finish our reread of the Dungeon Crawler Carl books. Alright, so got this door. It'd be 113. for house 115. Turns out your surgery on these things requires soldering, which I'm not able to do, so I gotta pay someone at a shop to fix them. On which things? Oh, Game Boy cartridges. Any marble around the outside of the broken walls? No. It's been cleaned up. 13, 15. Let's go ahead and we'll move this sign. Do these houses come with a valet trash pickup? That costs extra. We'll send a goblin around with a cart. Goblin said Thanksgiving was great. Everyone had to stay over because traffic on the number 1, so it was actually pretty classic. Oh, cool, man. Family time is wild. What word was I gonna say? Not wild. Family time is awesome? I don't know. It's freaking 10:22. My brain's done. Family time is wild. Family time is... Why would I even start with a... Wholesome is good. A good W word. Family time is awesome. Wonderful. Maybe that's what I was gonna say. Wonderful, Tsunami-san. Before my brain... The soldering in my brain needs to be redone. Wild, awesome, awful, all work. Wonderful. And just straight up malfunctioned. Alright, so... 1055, 1056 to round out the volumes at the last house. 56. Cool. We got a new volume coming now. It's going to be 1057. House 1015. Let's make sure we label this house janky so that we know what we're dealing with. Janky. Could be wild, which is a brand of edibles you like. Oh, buddy. We gotta get you cleaned up. I think the main thing that I used to like about edibles is the fact that it was like candy and cake and stuff, and I just discovered that you can actually have that without any drugs in it. I was like, what? That also. Well, roof openings disregard the sheltered buff. That's an interesting question, because I could have sworn that Ollie was in some ruins the other day. That, that was still providing the sheltered buff. I thought. There, hello. Love the drop sign. Thanks. Well, I mean, It was right here, but then it fell. It may need to come over slightly. You know, we want your housing experience to be distinct. Each house is a little different, right? We got these little shacky goblin houses. We've got, for those of you that weren't here earlier when we were running through, at some point maybe you can be a tavern owner, right? And then the coolest house in the whole world is right here. You can rent this, a beauty. Got 2 solid rooms and an amazing view. If you're more of a breezy outdoor fisherman margarita drinker, you can rent one of these bungalows right here. So we got options for you on the island. Hey, Bent Erection, what's going on? It's been a while since I saw. Weren't you in here before? It's been a while since I saw a name like that in here. It's always nice. It's always nice when someone comes in with one of those. It's like, gosh, we're gonna call you Binty. It says first time chat, but I swear, maybe it's a different Rection. One of your cousins was in here. It'd be so funny if we could get specific rubble chunks as furniture to fill those gaps. That would be cool. Been in before? Oh, you know what? It's probably when you followed or something. Are you a follower? Have you followed? Maybe that was it. Shaka said, man, I had a chance to go to Heidelberg this week and I had to pass on. Oh, it's a shame to hear. You would have enjoyed it. Super hyped for tomorrow? Right on. Yeah, I am I'm still in Bremen, Shaka. One of those names that snuck through EQ's name checker. It happened. Speaking of senior moment, I actually am having a senior moment. What was I doing again? We got a new house set up. Did we ever set up the sign? I never set up the sign. So we'll do that last, actually. Like, the sign's there, but I didn't set up the new house for 10:15. So we'll need to get that done 10:15 to set up the safe point outside. So let's go ahead and get the... Let's get the door going. Oh my gosh, we haven't set up doors in a while. Duplicate row with keys. 10, 12. Head door. 10, 10. Okay, and then we had 10, 13. With 10, 11, naturally. Been slacking on this database. 13. Sorry, I've got the entire screen covered with DBs, so no one say anything too out of pocket. 10, 14. Cool. And then we'll do 10, 13. Because I will be back, and then there will be hell to pay. 10, 13. is where we're at now. Cool. And that is house 1015. Perfect. Let's see. Did you behave? Robot, has it been mentioned? Are you looking to do housing for every race type? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then some. Any rough paint sketches of wing cogs signage you could do? Maybe. I won't get it done tonight though. Lunar Pony, thank you for, well, Lunar Pony 12 to be specific. Thank you for the follow. When do you need it by, Goblin? I don't, just think what would the owner of like the curio shop that Gizmo was bought at in Gremlins 1, what would his sign look like? I guess would be the question. Would you mind making so we can do replays on the stream? I heard the feature is off by default. May require subs or something. What is that? What does it do? I'm like, well, I don't know what that is. I'm confused. I'm scared. Replaced? The new Twitch thing? I don't keep up with that sort of stuff. You can just click back a few minutes if you miss something. I'm just gonna get going on signage because my blind spot for a bit too long. Okay. I can look up a reference and send it to you tomorrow if I don't. Just shoot me a DM so I don't forget. Acolyte of Iltendra. Can you tell us anything cool about the giants, like how long they've been here and where are they from? Oh, there's stuff to say. I just don't know. Should I say it here or just make sure it's covered in? So there is lore on that. I just don't know that I want to spoil it. Yeah, okay. It's a subscriber thing. Is that fair? Do you understand? Do you understand my dilemma, Acolyte? How about where might we be able to go in game to find out more lore? And yes, I do. We were just talking about some options for stuff like that. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. But we were literally just talking about that this week. That's a 50,000 sub stretch goal to lore. We'll include the lore. We just need to get our numbers up a little bit. You hear me? We've got lore. We swear we've got tons of lore, but it's a stretch. Giving it to you is a stretch goal. But your interest in the origins of the giants is noted. Hey, Finzor. Don't let us forget. Chini said, by the way, I think Discord could hit 20,000 members this test. Tell your friends. Yeah, and if not, then definitely by November. We're close. We're only like 400 away, I think. Is archaeology going to be a trade skill? If so, I want to be an archaeologist. It is on our list. Acolyte is a huge lore nerd. Talks about the lore all the time. We were playing Corm together and just kept going on about eminent lore. Nice. There are a few of. Do you check out the lore channel in our Discord at all? You probably do, and I'm just spacing on it. There have been some really good and accurate guesses. Any idea of how many players you'll be happy with at launch of EA based on tests in Discord and internal numbers? Like happy with? We've got a pretty wide range of what we'd be happy with. What would be, I think, probably ideal for us though is to not have like everybody show up at once and just have it grow over time. That'd be kind of cool. The only reason why I don't give the numbers is because I've got this really, I was talking about this earlier today as well with some folks. I really hate the idea of putting anything out there and like jinxing it. I know it probably sounds like a pretty stupid superstition. We would be happy. Stupid stition. Oh, you shoes. Don't be mean. Well, yeah, we'll definitely let you know by March or whenever. Again, I don't want to say that and jinx it as well. If I could play on a server with more than 1,000 people, it'd be better than most anything else available. Well, I mean, we just had 700 people in a zone. The last stress test, right? Things got wonky at 5 something, maybe 6. The goal is not to jam everybody on the server in one zone, though. Don't get me wrong. We're always, you know, starting this thing, we're always like, if we get a few hundred people, get a couple thousand, that'd be awesome. But, I think we're probably good on that front now. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't want it to be overcrowded and ruin your experience, but then by like milestone or module 1, there'll be more place for folks and have people trickle in. So as some people are moving into the other zones, more people are backfilling. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. There's a lot of discussion to be had there. There's a lot. There's some unknowns. There's some unknown unknowns, some known unknowns. The question is, how many of you will be around 6 months after we go into early access? That's the bigger challenge, really, with these things. Yeah, LTV, son. I was kind of hoping we'd wrap up this island, or yeah, the island tonight, and I'd be able to check in the zone. Feel bad that I've had it checked out for a couple of days now. Just haven't really got stuff done on it, but we'll check it in the morning. I don't think we're gonna wrap up because I still want to get the stalls in tonight as well. And I am slow as molasses right now. Have I worked on other games? I have. When I first started to stream, people would ask a fair amount, like, what have you worked on? So I put it in my... It's been so long since I've been there. What is the About or whatever here on Twitch? If you look at the About, it's got the list. That way people... Because there was a while when I was just saying it, like, over and over, because people would ask, like, what EQ stuff did you work on? And blah, blah, blah. And, yeah. When I run out of character slots, how do I get new character slots? Could they be earned? I think we let you have something like... I think we let you have like 25? Yeah, that's what I was about to say, and it just sounded like so many. Hey, Qualinos. He worked at Blizzard for 50 years. Was I in charge of preventing all the hacking, or? Yeah, you get 25 character slots. So hopefully that's enough. And they don't even cost you extra. Leaving money on the table, I tell ya. Yeah, Sean invented the WoW token. Yeah, that was me. Dragon, you know what? You better just stick around for 6 months. I don't want to hear it. Emotes being worked on for EA, yeah. Hey, Bill. You didn't miss much. Inappropriate humor. The usual. The usual. We got to get these coordinates because we didn't add them to this earlier. Off-topic stuff. My fault, probably. Let's get the coordinates and we'll add them to my dude here. All right, we've got X, Y, and Z for our second janky house. Hey, Mazloff. All right. Got that one done. I think there's another one that we can do if we want to do it. Like, where do we even put the door on this one? Do we actually put the door on the ground this time? Chinny, what do you think? Yeah, we're making player housing in here. A giveaway. I don't have that set up. I don't really coordinate that very often. This is not more camps and Sungreet. This is we're adding the player housing to the player housing island here and Shallow Shoals. And then we've got these like dilapidated houses that you can rent as well. Like the idea of the door just being there, Mud Action tells you this is your door or was your door. Let's grab this guy right here. So house sign. We'll make a new parent object. So house 10. That's not how you spell house. House 10 16. House 10 16. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do. Make floating huts like Belize. What? Did you not see these already? See, this is what happens when you come in late. Are they fixable? No, they're not fixable at the moment. They're not fixable. Maybe in the future. I don't know. Were you late? Did you just miss this part? Hey, Sneers. I mean, of course you weren't late. So we have a door frame here. We can just have this door on the back. Yeah, you can be a vendor here. Um, but I mean, in theory, that was like that. Was that a closet or was it a porch before? How will housing availability be balanced? In other games, housing becomes highly contested. Latecomers have a really difficult time ever getting in to have one. I mean, if people aren't paying the upkeep or whatever, then it goes back in the pool. Where over time, we're going to have a lot of variety, a lot of locations. And then, yeah, I mean, there's still going to be some amount of like first come, first serve and stuff being contested, things like that. But, so we have the sign already. In some games, people buy them all and auction them RMT. They can't buy them all here because you can only have one house per server per account. Now, I guess in theory they could have mule accounts that they try to then do all that with and blah blah blah. But then if we catch them doing that, then we'll probably just ban them. Can you trade deeds? I do not. I don't know that we have any plans for you to be able to trade deeds. You could coordinate the release of a deed. Can you transfer your ownership? Is that in there? Is that correct? For some reason, I didn't think that was the case. Will there be a distinction between guild housing, personal housing, or is someone in the guild sacrificing their housing slot? It was shown. Don't know that it worked last test. Okay, then Ollie added that. Interesting. That'll be an interesting one to watch then. We'll have to see if that gets if that turns into a problem. Will there be a distinction between guild housing and personal housing, or was someone in the guild sacrificing their housing slot? For now, at the moment, it is they would sacrifice their housing slot. But that may be something that we can put in to sort of like account for that. I'm sure there's all sorts of edge cases that we're missing and wacky stuff that you guys are going to wind up doing that we're going to have to like address without a doubt. Transferring ownership of mounts? Yeah, I could see that one being a bit easier. But I mean, if we've got transfer of ownership in, what I mean by is I can see that having fewer edge cases, I guess. Yeah, we don't want to make sure. We want to make sure that we don't create a situation where people are like just pulled out of the world, though. So it would have to be islands that actually exist in the world. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh yeah, getting this one set up. This one's taking me a little bit longer. Yeah, Purge, that's kind of the idea on some of this stuff. Some houses are a small room. The one I bought in Night Harbor is huge, several rooms and 2 to 3 floors. Will these large houses cost a lot more? Yeah, they will be. We haven't done anything on the pricing so far. Can't wait to see the fail and draw homes eventually. Yeah, for sure. I think this one we're not going to do. We're actually not going to do this one. Let some ruins be ruins. All right, so with that in mind, I think that's it for housing. I think we got everything set up here, and now let's start the stalls. We'll knock out the stalls really fast. Will fill and draw all tree houses be in for EA? They should be, yeah. Let's do the stalls. Well, that's curved, right? So that I don't think that works really. So it probably will look better over here. We'll rotate it. That'd be great. Walk into the wrong house and it'd be a bandit camp. Yeah, I mean, there's some houses even in Night Harbor where they're left empty so that we can still put like scoundrels in there. We'll see over time. Like we may have to pull a couple of houses for use with NPCs or by NPCs. So we'll do that one here, and this will be house 1016 will be stall. And all that needs is 1016, but it gets a little bit different data in the DB, so we'll need to remember that. And did we ever set up? We did set up the safe point in the last one. So for 1016, we're gonna go, and that is not a house. That is a market. I've got to ask Ollie if the inn designation is going to count for taverns as well. Let's set up the safe point here. So Control D. Get these coordinates. Copy. Boom. Copy Y. Copy Z. And then we'll do another one. Control D. Maybe we will finish this stuff on this stream. We're almost done. Look at us go. Another save point. Toe Jam Schmo says, I haven't heard you mention it, so sorry if you're repeating yourself. Do you want to implement a way to improve faction standing with enemies, as Shira, for example? There's already like there's like a quest line and everything with the Ashira you can do. And over time you may find some with less obvious enemies and stuff like that. But not the orcs. Alright, so we got that there. And then that was in 17. Oh man, sorry, that came up too fast. Follow-up question. Hey, Olgo Dev. Follow-up question. Would you consider putting housing in enemy or more wilderness feeling zones that only unlock with high faction standing with that enemy? Yes. Yes. And potentially like quest housing where you've got to complete the quest in order to unlock the house. All sorts of shit like that. For sure. Because it's just kind of like a either minor modification to the way the system currently works, or putting a little criteria, like you said, where the housing agent, the realtor, because we can designate any NPC as the realtor, and so that would just be a matter of like designating a realtor that won't talk to you unless you've got the faction complete. which is also how we could probably rig the quest one as well. So, and we've still got, like, here I've got to put in a new NPC to be the realtor on this island. And so in theory, it could be a thing where I was asking about conditionals and about whether or not they persist through server restarts and stuff like that. So in theory, I don't know that we're going to do it on this island, but in theory, it should be something where we could have the island like be covered in undead or something, and they have to be cleared. And once they're all cleared, it'll set a condition in the zone that says like, housing island undead cleared. Essentially, maybe not so long, but it might be just condition SHS undead clear or something, and then that sets it, and then the system knows not to spawn any more undead, and it also knows that maybe the realtor spawns, that kind of thing, right? So we could do things like that. Are the caves with ropes leading up to them in glass flats housing? Don't know. Maybe. There have been a couple things in the past we've talked about putting in there, but could be that you find a deed out there. But that's the kind of like fun stuff that we want to put out and like have you be able to find. And again, player housing in Telekir. Interesting point. Interesting. I could see, even if especially if it's pretty limited, that'd make it like a grind faction race to try to get it so you're the one that gets the housing. Interesting. Any work being done on the underground races in cities? Yes, on both. Chinny's been working on Underdocks, which is the port under Night Harbor that will take you to the north to like the Deep Elf City and beyond. We've got the zone that connects to that's already been in progress for a while. Caves of Aram, used to be known as Deep Dunes. Mapping out the Great Cavern Sea in 2D right now and discussing that. We've got the Deep Elf City in progress. We've got the dungeon that's coming with the Deep Zones in Module 1 is pretty damn complete, even if CAD doesn't think so. Mike John, thank you for the follow. And then the above ground zone that's coming with the deep module, Fields of Lost, is in progress. If you set up a vendor like here in Shallow Shoals, can you sell goods offline, or do you have to be present? You have to be present. For now, we're making it so that any vendoring you do is you've got to be present. Like any sort of selling or whatever you do. Hopefully they can get the housing buying experience correct. Shadow Realtor, tons of paperwork, holds up. Yeah, nice. Sneer says, after watching the streams, I'm really digging the layouts. Bless you. I enjoy smaller camps with pathers. For smaller groups, we have bigger camp nearby. Gives a variety of solo players who want to do camps but normally can't. So thank you. It makes it much more immersive, even if not the intention. It's awesome. Now it is typically the intention when setting up different camps. Like some of those pathers and stuff is meant to kind of help you pre-break the camp. Like some camps may have 2 pathers, which then only leaves like 1 or 2 guys, so it's a bit easier. It's meant to keep soloers and doers in mind while still providing options for groups. So yeah, so actually let me jot a couple notes down on cool, get them. Will there be a sales interface where you can just list your prices and stuff, or have to use OHC chat? display cases allow you to show the items now. Want to get that like upgraded so that it's easier for you to like show items and prices. But display cases and things like that are meant to be in these stalls, right? So what we'll do, we'll set one up right now. We'll take this guy, we'll make the parent object, which is house 1017. Put that in the right position. All right, so now we need a volume. Last volume used was somewhere around here. Cool. This is volume 1060 for house. 1016. Cool. So then, and you'll see these a lot in Night Harbor. They're already in there. And then is there any getting into here? I don't. Okay. I don't. Yeah, there's no way down there. Okay, so I don't mind it penetrating a bit. Pause. Cool. I think that's probably fine. We can adjust these. Is Swanee out of here? All right. Enjoy the Halloween thing with the kiddos. Yeah, I wish I could just add days to the week for you, Bill, but we can't do it. That's why it's always so important to prioritize what we're doing. Prioritization is the name of the game now. And cool. I think that's a good enough place for it. And this is housing volume 1061 for house 1017. So let's get that set up. What am I watching him make / design here? Flip. Basically, we're wrapping up the evening. For the last 3 hours of the stream, we've been just setting up player housing on an island out here in the middle of this zone, Shallow Shoals. If you're familiar with the game, if you're familiar with the zone, then this is an island where you might have been over here and not seen much. But that's because we're reserving it for some player housing, where you can rent houses. You can rent nice beach bungalows, a dilapidated tower, a tavern, some stalls where you can just set up shop and sell some stuff here, which are just display cases there. maybe not as convenient as the ones in Night Harbor, so I don't know how much they'll be used, but we'll see. And then we've got a couple more in here, and then I think we're done with this zone. Want to be able to turn off, on and off the light in a lighthouse? Be funny if you could like actually make a lighthouse prop to use in there. So 1060, 1061, we're good. Let's check, make sure that's set to static. It is 1016, 1016, 1060. Great. Same thing here. It's not set to static. We'll get that cleaned up. We'll go 1017, 1017. Control people on the boat by flashing it off constantly. See, that's why we can't have nice things. Right there, you just proved it. You keep saying zone, so I'm guessing an MMORPG. Yeah, actually. If you're not familiar with the game, it's been so long. Like usually, the people that come in here are folks seeking the game specifically. If you're not aware of what we're making a indie MMORPG called Monsters and Memories. It's all volunteer team. It started with just like 4 of us early on in year 1. The team is now at like 37 people, so it's grown over the years. We started in, we officially kind of count September of 2020. And if you want a background on kind of the history of, here, let me find it. The history of the project, you can find it at the bottom of this page. But we've been a team that's just been committed to like developing the game very publicly. Wondering if we're nerfing our visibility by streaming in the M&M category instead of game development category, at least when working. Yeah, I've wondered about that. But it's a good point. I haven't thought about that in forever. That's where we started way back in the day. So it may be worth doing that every once in a while, Nick. Yeah, so we're working towards basically getting into beta and then into early access Q1 of next year, and then yeah. So it is a very old school, nostalgia focused MMORPG. You can check out our Discord here as well. But yeah. I just, at this point, I think, I don't know. It's maybe a bad assumption. Just think most people that are in here, it's like, they know who we are. Because it has been a while since we've been in like, just kind of a channel that's not our own. Can you make houses bind users on purchase for the melee non-gating classes? Oh, like a put something in your house to allow you to bind in your house. It seems worthwhile. All right, so let's finish this last one out, even if we're a little over on time. And then I think we'll really be done with the zone. I could probably even check it in. I mean, wouldn't hurt to check my work before doing it, but hey. Control D. Parent it, house 1018. It's Friday. Can work a little bit later. Sign 1018. Update 1018. Let's move it over here. You're Monday, I'm sorry. And we'll put it like right here because if you're messing with the stall, it'll just put you there. And we'll keep that one for everybody. We'll keep it relatively generic. So we'll just put it right here and then we'll just set up a few stalls. Let's grab these coordinates though as we're setting up the first one. So 1018. Those of you haven't like this is what I'm looking at over here. Just we've got a bunch of these open to. There's 3 of them that you use when you're setting these guys up. Little database. Tables in the database 1018. Cool. We'll get those initial coordinates and then we'll just use those for all of them because we're lazy. X, Y, and Z. There we go. And these are also market, so that's set up properly. Hey, Brief Lab. I don't mind the weekday weekend. Makes doing stuff much easier and way less crowded, though makes weekend only crap impossible. Yeah. That is the tough part, right? None of these have doors. So when was the last door that we put in? Was for 15. Were there only, did we only do 2 janky houses? 1, 2. We looked at a third, or did we do a third? No, we only looked at the third and we decided we weren't going to do that one. Okay. So let's go back. Cool. All right, so let's get these guys set up. Got to run and get some takeout before the ball game on TV starts. Can't wait to see the world again. Awesome work on all the M&M, to all the M&M team. Cheers, everyone. Hey, Humdrum. Have a great one. Enjoy your ball game. How goes progress towards shared banking? Is it possibly going to be visible for November test? Probably, because I haven't heard anything about it. And messing around with banking inventory is not something we want to do at the very last minute. So not November, I don't believe. It would be for beta, if I had to guess. Where in the world are you working further down past Westgate? Nope. We are in Shallow Shoals. No, it's a good question though. What's going on with this wall? Or is this just crooked? I think this is just crooked. Who else is going to be streaming in a little bit? Because I'm going to wrap up at some point soon. So who else? Anybody? Team folks streaming? Nick? Goblin? You'll have containers and stuff that you can use in your house. Not I, Nick said. So that is... Now let's get our volume set up. I like Cake said, Nick, I thought you were going to stream hitting #1 in Fellowship. The recreational stream. Fellowship, Stockholm, Sweden, game developers represent. Just want some shadows from our campfires we make. Be nice. I'm assuming they don't do that due to optimization reasons. Alright, so we got this guy pretty much done. Let's give it... Let's move it to the right spot. $18. And it is 62. 2. 18. Volumes. Where do we live off? Oh man, we're kind of behind on our volumes. So 55, 56 we got covered. They were for 14, good. 57, 58, 59 were for 15. So 7. Okay, row with keys. 8. And 59. Cool, caught up there. Next one is 60 is for 16. 10, 16, 6. 60, great. Do another one. 61 for 17, great. Close these. And now we're at 18 and it is 62. Two. 18. All right. Topic of housing. What if we just, what if I were to just drop items on the floor? Is there a time limit before they disappear? Is that permanent? At the moment, if I haven't heard anything about turning off the time limit. At the moment, I would assume that it's handled like anywhere else in the world, and it would disappear over time. So if we're to not do that, would be new functionality that we would implement for for this. But yeah, you'll have crates and stuff like that. But I mean, it's a good question, right? Like that is one of those things that'll happen, and people are like, I dropped it in my house, think it would stay forever, and it disappeared. I want my item back. That's a good question. Should I make this booth span the whole gap here, or it seems pretty big, or should I do 2? And then divide it in half. Will you be able to teleport to a house you own? You have to ride or walk there. We don't have any plans at the moment for items that would teleport you there. House 1019. Nope, no feedback on that. Well, then maybe I will just, I'll turn it into 2. House 1019, 19. What happens if you bind in your room and you don't pay your rent? Does it move your bind point to the default starting point? That's another great question. Don't know. We haven't addressed it yet. It probably just you would bind. You'd go back to your bind, which is in the house, which you don't have permission to be in, and you'd be set to the safe spot. So like in this case, you'd be like right here, because there is a safe spot for, because it's similar to like, what if you're in your house and you haven't paid your rent? It just kicks you out to the safe spot. That's the coordinates I've been getting each time. Can you easily move bind points for individuals, or is it done in mass per zone? No, we can move bind points for individuals in the database pretty quickly. 20's got a nice new interface for that. You know what I'm going to do to divide this up a little bit more? I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to grab all of this guy. Pause. Going to grab this booth right here. And subdivide this, and then we'll move that. Squatty potties is a thing. It's a thing. I've heard a lot about them. It's supposed to be healthy or for you or whatever. I just can't get into it. Oh man, sneeze. It was about to get me again. All right, Bill. Hey. Best wishes again. Hope you guys are all good. So we got that one there, and this one is going to be uh 20. So let me 20 Control Shift G, new parents, house 1020. When you guys build dungeons, do you build them in a program like Blender and then import them into Unity, or do you build them manually with modules? You can build them. Some people build them in Blender, and some people build them with Pro Builder and Unity, and then clean up the FBXs. Like export them, can clean them up and convert them and stuff in Blender, and then bring them back in, bring the FBX back in. All right, so we got these two guys here. Yeah, Cad said he does it in Blender, and other people do it in Unity, in Pro Builder. 19 and 20. All right, and so we got this guy here, 19. He needs a volume now. We'll grab this volume, Control D, and all right, let's go with the rotation. We'll just pull this in, and then we'll pull it out here. Pull this up a little bit so we can see if it's penetrating there. It's not. Same thing over here. Good. Great. We're good there on that front. We'll update it. So this will be 63, it looks like, and 19. And we'll update on it. Same too. 63, 19. Great. We'll add that in here. We'll update the database. 68 rows, 63, and 10, 19. Wonderful. And just one more, and I think we're done with the island. We'll come here, duplicate. We'll move this over. Boom. Move this into the correct parents. 4, 20, 4, and 20. One thing I wonder is, will there ever be a texture update in the zones like walls like Wormsbane or AC? The walls are kind of featureless. Chinny called that out a couple days ago, and we put it on our task list so we don't forget. Yeah, there's texture updates required for a good handful of zones. So, and over time we'll just be hitting those. So, keep in mind when you're in AC, like here's the actual truth about AC. You guys may not realize this. AC it was a test zone, so the crypt with the spiders in it, I forget what we're calling it now. That little mini dungeon was the first thing ever created in M&M. That's where we were running around as little capsules named Orc when Ali first set it up, like the first week. And then we took the pieces that Ali had made to make that little room. Then we created like the little rough shaded dunes map and took out a chunk of that room, that wall, and hopped out and ran around. And then Ancient Crypt is actually Ancient Crypt is a little test dungeon. I think Nick had pulled together based on those other pieces, a small test dungeon, and had it populated. And then we were discussing like what makes for a good dungeon population density and stuff like that. And so he had started working on it. He was out of town for like a 3 or 4 day weekend. I went in and like expanded it even more. And it was totally just a quickly thrown together test dungeon. And I don't believe we've really updated it since. So it needs a lot of love. But the fact that you guys actually play in it, enjoy it, is kind of fun. So that's cool. One sec. We got this last one here. Cool. checking some more Slack stuff so I don't just miss it before. I guess I can check it before bed when I'm done here, but one more duplicate 1064 and 20. I think that covers it then. 1, 2, 3. Got the volumes here. 64, 20. This needs to be updated. That would have been a bug. 20. And 19. 19, 3. 20, 64. And 18. 1862. I think we're good then. We'll hit save, which we probably should have done an hour or two ago. And I think that covers all of the housing needs for Shallow Shoals for this pass, assuming it saves. It did save. Alright, so if we click on housing, oh, none of these are in this folder. I was like, why is it not showing up? Oh no. We did put volumes in there, right? Let me move all these into the right parent. That freaked me out for a second. I was like, did I just imagine doing volumes in these houses? Shit. What happened here? Alright. Now click on it. Cool. What's up, secrets? You can fight memories all you want. Oh, interesting. What's going on with this volume, though? Which house is this? One of the later ones, right? Before we did the janky houses? Here. Let's figure out what this bug is about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so now we see where the bug is. This guy needs to be in the wrong, or in the, this guy's in the wrong spot. Missing some Zen bushes, it would be awesome. Maybe those will be items that you can acquire and place. Memory Mage, new class, can cause mobs to reverse their go-tos and stuff. As opposed to a Chrono Mage? Cool. Let's look. Anything else look out of place? We didn't do this one. A Chrono Mage gives you 30 days of game time as a buff. That's funny. We got these guys going. Those guys. That one. That one. That one. Not that one. There. That one. Alright, so I think we're good. We've hit save. We hit save and I'll be able to check this in tonight. Cool. Well, that's an accomplishment. We actually accomplished the task. It only took an extra 35 minutes. Alright. Is anybody from the team streaming? If not, I may just wrap this up with a series of good nights with you guys. It's always nice when we can do that. and then get up out of here. Yeah, I think that's it then, until I hear otherwise. All good, Dev. Tschüss. Vielen Dank. Schönes Wochenende. Later, you shoes. Gorv, take care. Tavish. Let's see. I think it is 2 S's. MMO Pug, good night. See you guys tomorrow. That's right. We stress test tomorrow. So we'll see you guys here, right? Gunnar Wolf, take care. Purge, good night. Derelict. Benti. Hi, Todd. Hey. I'm glad I could be here for you. Dankus, take care. Chas Solo, Shiloh's there. Thulon, appreciate it. Brifflab, have a good one. Yeah, Jasmine's almost fully 100% again, so that's nice. Corn Muffin, see you. See you, Secrets. Qualnos, Warlan. Aram. Brifflab. I guess maybe I hit you with a hey hey. Oh no, it's a hey do. See you, Eric. Nightack, take care. Thanks for being here. I like cake with the later skater. I appreciate that one. Darius, take care. Soba. Redris. Stress test stream, probably, maybe. I don't know. I've got to coordinate with Nick and see what's going on. See you, Viro. Matthias, good night. Dolce and Katana, take care. Dakuan, I think I got it this time. Let me know if not. Good night, Zaire. Pez Dispenser, 00. Viper, Sir Nasty. Appreciate it, I will. Darius. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to pop in, right? Markeeb, thank you for the follow. See you, Sinris, Pipes. Glorganox. Oh, yeah, or we'll see. EA, Jan first, or else. Or else what? Or else what? What are you going to do? Alkanosis, see you. See you, Death by Gnomes. Raulos, Tyron. Later, Redris. I thought I said later already to you. Later, Wickasloth. Good idea earlier. See ya, Beatty. Turok Burntface. Alright. Yes, death to the Cayman. And also good night. Relant. See you. We'll catch up soon. What else? Say my name, you'll be allowed to leave. I did. Death by Gnomes. Swindle, take care. Impin. Roland, I pause every time because I'm like, am I screwing up your name? You'll have to let me know. Comma 77TW, good night. Anybody else? Are we wrapping this up? Because I still need to check in this zone, check some Slack, and then get up out of here. Alright, I guess that's it then. Everybody, swing by for the stress test tomorrow. Hop into Discord if you need information relative to this, or related to the stress test. Hopefully we'll see you there. Not doing any alpha drops tonight. Good night, Impin, Tavish. And I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to push the button in a second, and then that'll be that. All right? So I will either see you at the stress test, or I'll see you probably Wednesday. We'll do a Wednesday, Friday next week. All right. Everybody take care. If I don't see you, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.